Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the D1NZ National Drifting Championship. This is round number 2, coming to you from Taupo Motorsport Park. I'm your lead host, Warren Sear, filling the seat normally occupied by Stephen McIver, who's away on other duties this weekend. Joining me as the lead technical commentator for the series, welcome back, Kenny Ruddle.
Yeah, back to the future, Warren. It's round 2 here for D1NZ 2025. We've seen some pretty awesome battling this morning with the Pro Sport 235 class. Yeah, super technical track layout here today compared to yesterday. So it's all about that initiation. The standing start here today. We had a rolling start yesterday. It's all about that first outside zone down there on the right-hand side of the track as the lead car gets off the line and heads towards those flags.
All right, and also joining us, bringing you all the action from the lane is Nick Hoyle. Nick, you're bringing us some fast and furious information.
Yeah, look, it was a fantastic morning with the Pro Sports there, and points are on offer, and guys want this championship. So I'm really excited to see what the Pro boys do for us now, and we'll see you down on the lane.
All right, so boys, let's recap round 1 that we saw yesterday. Of course, the first time the Aussies came in, they made some noise, and they took out first and second place. Brodie Maher, Luke Fink.
Yeah, I think it's the first time an international driver has taken, well, especially an Aussie, taken a New Zealand round win start of the season. So, look, both Luke and Brodie said it was the worst battle of the day. It ended in pretty spectacular fashion, and hopefully they've fixed the front end of the Luke Fink machine today because it looked like it had a bit of a severe front end knock as he went up the bank yesterday. So yeah, that was pretty spectacular. And we know Brodie Maher's got this absolute rocket ship, the little SR Plenty. It's crazy to think a little 4-cylinder turbo is pushing 1,000 horsepower, but hey, how long is it going to last? We've got a whole nother day of battles here today. Super tight technical sort of layout. Well, it's not really that tight. It's all wide flowing stuff, but it's 6 outside zones. It's the start that's tight, and then it's all going to come down to that standing start.
And Nick, you kind of have the best view in the house, right? Because you get to experience all the emotion from the guys as they jump back out of the cars, and they're kind of coming at you pretty hot and heavy some of the time. There was a bit of feeling yesterday, a bit of spice.
Yeah, look, I mean, like I say, these guys want the points, and it means a lot to them. They invest a lot of their time, their money, and their heart and soul into the sport. And, you know, I mean, I don't think anything's going to change whatsoever today. I think the Kiwi boys, I think that they will really be wanting to get one back after first time we've ever had an all-Aussie final at D1NZ. So I really cannot wait to see how the likes of Fangadan and Dave Steadman really sort of lay it down for us today.
Yeah, we know that it hurt. We know the Kiwi boys don't like being beaten on home soil by the Aussie boys here at the Taupo Motorsport Park. It is a very, very different technical layout that we're now looking at now, Kenny. That first corner has really challenged the Pro Sports this morning. We think maybe that the pros have got a little bit more grip on the 265 wide semi-slick tyre. Generally, they've got a little bit more power. What are you looking for technically?
Well, technically, it's going to be about getting the car balance right into the first outside zone, right, and getting that standing start. So it's getting the grip down, getting the right drive, balancing the ratio from yesterday too. There might be some gearing changes up and down pit lane, actually to try and get the layout to flow, because it flows very differently. It starts so slow, and then you've got to extract so much car speed to get to that last scoring zone at the end of the track. And the judges have really asked to stay off those white lines, stay off those ripple strips, fill those zones the best you can, and if the chase car drops back too much, go for a midline. Go for a midline approach and try close the door that way. But hey, look, we saw a lot of contact, a lot of drama yesterday, some big spectacular battles, but hey, let's see what the big 265 semi-slicks can do today, and a bit of experience, a bit of knowledge in the car setup on the Taupo track surface. All
right, so let's take a look at the championship points order. Of course, Brodie Maher from Australia, from Tasmania, 100 points in the bank for the round win. He is doing really well at the moment. Brodie Maher leads the series at the moment. Of course, you got some qualifying points in there as well. Luke Fink is in there with 104. Dave Steadman, 88 points. James McManaway, 76 points, the team boss from JDM. Tied with Daniel Wilhouse, the old dog. Sam West is in there as well. He's bringing up decent points. Kurt Blackie, Adam Davies also in the hunt there. Adam Whitehead also making some decent points there from a second place qualifying result. So Nick, Kenny's given us the technical point of view, from an emotion point of view, from that feeling point of view. Who comes out of the car hot and heavy?
Well, look, you know, in the past, Fangadan will be the first one I'd go to.
Yeah.
I think that Fang is certainly this season. He wasn't expected to do the whole season. He's come out, and he is the guy that just gets in the car and sends it. So I think we'll be seeing a lot from him today.
All right, so you've heard enough from us for now. Let's take a look at today's competition format.
The 2025 D1NZ Championship brings together new elements and a new lineup of changes for the competition format. Each driver is scored on line, angle and style by 3 judging officials, with each judge given 100 points to play with all 3 scores now averaged across the 3 judges. Qualifying runs are now also back-to-back to keep the cars warm and on consistent track conditions. After qualifying, our drivers are then lined up in a seated battle tree, ready for door-to-door competition. Drivers need to set or better their qualifying performance in the lead while maintaining the scoring criteria for each event. The chase driver's objective is to match or better the lead car's performance while trying to maintain close proximity. Our tandem elimination system has changed for 2025 with new scoring elements. Each official will now split their points across 3 battle scoring criteria, where drivers need to set both a lead and chase run, now scored out of 100. Each judge will now only score either lead, chase or style, with 100 points available for each official. The highest scoring drivers will then advance into the next round, battling through a top 16, top 8 and a semi-final top 4 before we battle for the final spots on the podium.
So the men in the moment, the men in the hot seats, the 3 wise men we call you, Matt Kwok, coming back for his sins, experience in motorsport, all of those drift laps you've turned. My mate, you're on the judge's hot seat this weekend. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, pretty good, Woz. It's like I said earlier, it's been a hell of an experience, to be honest, but
It works better when you turn them on, bro.
yeah,
I tell you what, he's a hell of a driver, but he's not good with technology. He's not an electrician by trade or anything.
I struggle to turn on a computer nowadays. So, but yeah, what I was saying is, it's very good to be back, and as hectic as the start of that pro sport bracket was, the end of it was very tidy, and some of that driving was phenomenal. So very happy with the boys.
All right, and what are you looking for particularly? Because you're the lead judge, aren't you? So you're judging on lead solely, watching battles?
100%. So for me, it's all about keeping the door open for the chase car. We want to promote very good battles, and to do that, we need wide lines, big, smooth transitions. So that's key for me.
All right, and another experienced old head in speedway circles and motorsport circles, Tony Gallagher. Last year you were part of the commentary team, but you were feeling brave this year, and you picked the pair up and you've stepped across the hallway, and that's a real learning curve, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it has been, Warren. I'm starting to sort of get into the groove of it now. I'm feeling comfortable with my decisions. Yesterday, I was nervous. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm getting more and more confident in my decisions and I'm having fun watching the style of drifting and judging on what I think looks cool. Well, car control's a big thing that I'm looking at. The accelerator input, the steering input, and the accelerator application.
And how easily is the speedway knowledge you've got in that big old head of yours translating to drift?
Yeah. Actually, just going back, you called me wise as well. I think that's like the...
I lied. I did lie.
Yeah, okay,
I lied.
It's... on the dirt, you have to smooth as fast. So you do. You need to have minimal wheel input. You need to have just good throttle control. And it does. It relays across to what I believe in drifting. And Taupo's a good flowing track, so it's probably a good starting ground. Mount Smart, I'm going to have to do a lot of homework before there. But having set up there and I'm slowly getting into the groove of it, and things are only going to get better, mate.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tony. And of course, the third and final judge, Mr. Brutally Honest Feedback himself, Benke Bruin, all the way from Australia, sim engineer, driver, promoter, tour guide, and heartbreaker.
Nah, I'm just a dude, bro.
You're just a dude.
I'm just a dude.
I'm
not even a good dude.
You're a pretty good dude so far. I think the drivers I know have been universally, I say universally, that's maybe not 100%.
I've definitely
true,
lost some friends.
There's definitely been a lot of positive feedback towards the new judging style, which I know you've been driving and been a big advocate for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Like for myself, being the chase driver, being able to focus on one thing, and that one thing is proximity with skill. No point having proximity if you look horrible, and making sure they're getting that nice momentum switch, and then anticipating. For me, the most important one is if you've got a horrible lead, make that smart decision and choose how you're chasing.
Alrighty, and of course the reason that all of these drivers are competing, it's written right here on your head, the Drift Japan Tour. The biggest ever single prize in D1NZ history, $15,000 value per class for Pro Sport and Pro. They are going to Japan. Let's take a look at winning that prize.
Tour.
So that's how it goes, that's how it flows. Benke Bruin, just tell me real simply, what can we look forward to on the Drift Japan experience?
Mate, memories that you'll never forget, awesome skids, and some of the greatest times that we could ever make happen for you.
Now, because we're about skids and drifting here, you're actually needed up in the tower, my mate, so I'm going to grab that microphone back off you. You've got to run.
Thank you very much.
Get up there on full boost, and we're going to throw over, I believe, to Kenny, who's going to take us for a bit of a guided tour around the judge section here at Taupo Motorsport Park.
Cheers, Warren. We are here at Taupo Motorsport Park. It is round 2 of the Pro Championship, the final event of the doubleheader weekend. We've seen 3 competition events so far, and we're going to see the 4th and final one for this weekend before we head to round 3 at Mount Smart Stadium, Go Media Stadium in Auckland. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketek as we take a look at the start of the section here, and the layout has been flipped from yesterday. So we've got an outside zone to start, which has been super technical off of the standing start, out to another outside zone 2. As they come through this midsection here, on the right-hand side of your screen will be outside zone 3. You look for those yellow painted boxes, which is what the judges are looking for, to see the rear of the car fill those zones, and you got to be within 300 mil of those white lines on the track edges. There are some super big score deductions and penalties for this track layout here this weekend, and of course staying off the ripple strips. Lead car really does need to stay off those ripple strips, otherwise they will be in a world of hurt from the judges, and the reason being is there's actually some pretty big trenches off the runoff off those ripple strips. So when you drop a wheel over there, you actually end up damaging your rim or splitting the rim or even debeating a tyre. So it becomes a bit of a safety thing for the drivers as well. And not only that, it's about making sure that these guys are actually being challenged to be accurate about the line that they are on and what they are competing for today. Cars are about to head out of pit lane, and we're about to get underway for the first battle of the top 32, which I think will be the left-hand side of the battle tree. Sam West qualifying in P16 up against Sam Edinburgh from the South Island in his championship debut behind the wheel of his V8-powered S15. So it's RHP versus VIP team battle. Sam Edinburgh qualifying in 17th. On Friday, we ran a qualifying session on Friday afternoon for round 2 for these guys, and the Pro Sport guys were seeded from their last round results, which we saw this morning. So the big question is going to be, how are the Pro Championship cars going to fare on this reverse layout from yesterday? We had the rolling start to begin with yesterday, and now we're on a standing start out of the gate with Launchmaster Willie straight into a very short runner. They've got an initiation line that they can't cross over in terms of the lead car, and then they've got to attack a first outside scoring zone, which is the slowest part of the track. And having that right at the start of the drift section can be a bit of a challenge, a bit of a handful to get the car to do what it needs to do. A lot of driver input, a little bit of knowledge and experience in behind the car to have the setup balanced as well. And what's the grip level going to do? We started battling with the Pro Sport guys on the 235 radials this morning. What are the 265 semi-slick tyres going to produce here in the Pro Championship this afternoon? Will we see more spicy?
Well, it's hot down there in pit lane, Kenny, so It's going to be an interesting thing to take a look at because the conditions have certainly changed from this morning, but then I think there is forecast precipitation this afternoon as well, which could make things even more interesting as we take a look at Sam West, Mr. West, who was Mr. 120% yesterday. And this sort of fast-flowing layout, I think, will suit Sam West's style. You can really get after this, really get out there and attack this surface and attack this Taupo Motorsport Park that he knows so well. But the man from the South Island, the VIP frame, oh no, he's washed it. He is 4 wheels off. He just about took out another one of those NZKW signs. Wow, that was, it looked really good there from the gentleman from the South Island, but Mr. Edinburgh.
I feel like the VIP cars have been struggling for some side bite perhaps, or even just a little bit of drive, a little bit of front end drive out of the cars, because they seem to keep washing super wide and falling off those zones. So,
well, I think they're just a handful, aren't they? Because they're 812, oh no, they're 1,000 and 1,200 horsepower respectively. LSX 427 supercharged motors.
Yeah, well, I think in that instance, through the midsection, he might have actually caught himself out in the smoke. The lead car, the RHP 180 SX of Sam West, a new build, a fresh new build for him.
Yeah, new chassis after he somewhat bent the other one, right? Did a couple of years competition, and we think that was the
three-wheeling it through the first transition.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the old Justin Roode, Gary Tanana car. Actually, I think it was the original one. So for those of you who are nostalgia junkies, that would also be the car that Gary Whiter jumped into after blowing up one of his and drove to a podium at Hampton Downs. So.
And that was that was a really interesting one, that one, because he had the lowest power in the field that day, and everyone was having a hard time trying to chase a car that had 3 times less horsepower.
We've been talking about that so much, though, through the Pro Sport battles this morning. The challenges in chasing the lower power cars or the lower speed cars has really undone some of the drivers on this technical section. Now, we do obviously move into Pro now, so there's reasonably high expectations, I think it's fair to say, of most of these pro drivers, because they are all the guys who have done lots of laps, they have lots of power, they know how to dial grip into cars, and they should know by now how to put this section together. But it's also one of those funny things that no one really knows, Kenny, because no one's driven in these conditions, so you kind of send it and see in the top 32.
Sam West in the chase now, running the RHP steering kit up front with the 800 horsepower 2JZ, trying to hunt down that monster power supercharged V8 out in front.
I think Sam Edinburgh's having some trouble though, isn't he? He's very on and off. It's very inconsistent smoke. So when it's on, it produces lots of wheel speed, lots of tyre smoke, and it's hazing out the track. But it does look like it's a real handful. And you got to think that when you drive in that manner, that the style judge who's looking at that is going to look at it and say, well, it's cool, but it's not quite there. It's just not as consistent as it needs to be. And I think if you look at it lead for lead, chase for chase, I would be calling that one as advantage Sam West, just looking that little bit more consistent there. And of course we know that there was the big error from Sam Edinburgh heading cross country for a moment. Now what does that do to our tree, Kenny? Because we're in 32. I think that will lock him in against the number 1, Adam Davies. Adam Davies, Sam West. Adam Davies, Sam West in for 16. Now I did hear some chatter earlier too that Johnny Latham had withdrawn, I believe. Johnny Latham
having withdrawn from today?
I believe he's withdrawn from today.
Oh, no good. He messaged me the other night and said, look, I was having trouble with the nitrous setup in the car.
Right.
So perhaps they've decided to save the motor. Maybe they've got something going on there. And instead of running the risk of competing today, head home early and try to get the car sorted.
Well, it's not a cheap motor, is it? I mean, it's a TRD NASCAR motor.
It's something that you don't want to take any severe risks with.
So GT Radial, GT, the official tyre of D1NZ, and if you didn't join us yesterday, you may not be aware of the fact that D1NZ has moved to control tyre for control or authorised tyre for 2025. That means there are 5 brands that drivers can select from. Front tyres, however, Kenny, remain open to drivers' choice. They are a semi-slick of any configuration, and all these drivers running on a 265 wide rear tyre. So it has.
I think, from memory, the VIP guys were on the Tri-Ace.
And we saw the Tri-Ace. Now here we go, the lights should come on here, and this will give us our first look at the AB or OMT system. Matt Kwok, Ben Bruin and Tony Gallagher. There it is, Sam West going through. Sam West goes through. Mr. West, popular man here. A few fans up there in the stand.
Oh, Sammy, that's a good start to the day, bro. How did it feel out there?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm just trying to get myself in the game, you know, but that felt good.
I've got a message from the brother Dane in the Gold Coast. He said you really need to step it up, eh?
watch this one, next one then, Dane. Shout out to my wife, Maddie, too. Love you, babe.
Oh, Mr. West, he's a character, isn't he? He's always entertaining. Imagine Oversteer After Hours with Sam West. That would be some wild content, wouldn't it? Now, it is interesting. Oh, no, we're straight into battles as well. Sean Potros, as we heard earlier, with Murray and Cody Pullenberry on the tools in his pit garage for round number 2 here. You can see the bumper is already broken in half on Sean Potros' car, but Kurt Blackie has brought the aggression all weekend, Kenny. Kurt Blackie driving Wolfie as hard as he possibly can, and he is not giving any. Oh, surges up. Does Kurt Blackie, the RHP Wolfie machine. Kurt Blackie surging towards the lead car of Sean Potros and just about drives past him. Potros has pumped the universal hand out the window, says, I've got this one, but Kurt Blackie making him work.
Well, GT Radio replay, we wanted to see how the Pro Championship guys would power through the first initiation, and no major dramas so far. But look at Kurt Blackie here through this midsection, decided to sacrifice that outer zone and stay in the pocket. And then look at that surge right up on the rear quarter, just staying as much as he can in the pocket, not trying to go too far up on the A-pillar, but he was well past the end of the drift section there, I think.
Yeah.
Decided to give away.
Oh, he hit a cone.
Oh, wow.
I didn't see that the first time around. Sean Potros hit the cone, and I think that's a 0.
So does that explain why the bumper's off, or is the bumper not on and gone and flicked the thing?
I missed that
off
the first
track?
time round, so
I
on
need
the
to confirm
replay
that.
there, yeah.
Did he actually hit it with the rear end of his car?
Well, yeah, I think I get what you're
Or
saying.
was it like a residual thing from the bumper coming?
Was it loose beforehand and it swung around, and that's what's created the perception of hitting the cone? Now, I don't actually know how they would enforce that in terms of it is still attached to the car, so if it's part of the car.
Well, it's about the rear wheels though,
Yeah.
isn't it? The car positioning of the rear wheels in relationship to the rear end, the actual physical rear end of the car as well.
It is broken though, isn't it? Well, it's broken off the. It looks like it's folded off the inner clip, so that would be a weird place for it to come loose and not be loose fully. There, like I guess across the whole back bar. Sean Potros, though, we know was a little bit frustrated, shall we say, after turning himself round and having no one really to blame in his battle yesterday with Fangadan, as we see Launch Master Willie just making some quick repairs for Sean. Now that is still gonna flap around unless they break that off there, so that's gonna get cable tied up by the team from SMP Motorsport, sponsored by Champ Vision this weekend, along with the Ekdale Group. Shout out to them. Thank you for supporting Sean and bringing him here this weekend. He wasn't going to be here, Kenny. Didn't have any sponsorship until this week, but he's locked that in and is now looking to put together a solid season campaign. RHP, however, right behind Kurt Blackie, along with Domit and a number of other companies. Blackie now gets his chance to dictate terms, and he will lead them away off the line. They've all got to stay to the right-hand side of the green initiation line. Kenny, we saw some ugly things with cars coming across that line in Pro Sport. A gap here, which is a bit...
Kurt having all sorts of dramas, probably too far on an inner line there through the transition. So this is going to give a few bonus points back to Sean Potros.
Yeah, so he's created... Oh, Potros! He's off the track.
He's blown it off right at the end.
What is going on?
I think
that's
was
the tyre
well,
again, isn't it?
One, it's the tyre dig in terms of these higher horsepower cars, because it can only do about 1.8 laps around here of usable tyre. But when you're going full send, full throttle, trying to get full noise grip out of the car at the end of the section, I think it's just fully centred at the end there, and it's cost him dearly.
Now, Sean did stay out to his credit to where he needed to be, and he came back down the track because that's where Kurt ended up using.
Well,
Kurt
he's actually filled the outer zone that you're supposed to hit, whereas Kurt was way offline through the midsection. So you see here Sean Potros trying to close the gap up, but was it a little bit too much red mist and just put way too much lock and power into it. You got that residual car speed too. As we're talking about the tyre degradation, that's a good word.
Yep. We're adopting that one. Dig, spicy.
The spicy
unpack.
dig.
We're going to unpack the spicy dig.
But yeah, that midsection for Kurt Blackie in the lead, that'll be something that the judges will be keeping a keen eye on.
Well, I don't think it's going to matter though, because I don't think Sean's actually completed the section. He's come off before the conclusion of the radius
That's right.
of the corner, so it's a 0.
You know, he would have had it in the bag had he sort of just finished that last corner.
He and the
and
team
not dropped a wheel.
From Smart Steel out there through the Repco flags, just doing recovery for us. Thank you to the team from Smart Steel for sponsoring recovery all of this season.
He and the team, the firefighting crew and the recovery crew in the hot overalls all weekend long.
And there's our igloo full of cold Monster Energies for our later on podium.
Well, we've got a big shout out to all our international viewers tuning in around the world. Of course, we call them chili bins here, don't we? Esky.
Oh, I think we call them
Well,
whatever.
they call it esky, but then an
Esky,
esky, what
chili
an esky is in Australia is not an esky in the States.
No.
I think.
Like jandals and thongs. Very Blackie, Kurt Blackie goes through. Kurt Blackie gets the call.
Kurt, 2 from 2 for the RHP team.
Yeah, did Sam go through as well?
Yeah.
Oh, good shit. No, real stoked with that. It's always a good hell of a time with Sean. He's a bloody good driver. I know I can go balls to the wall with him, so hats off to Sean.
Go on, mate. We'll see you back out there.
Cheers.
Sean, mate, tough round 1 and 2 so far.
Oh yeah, had a tough morning playing the tops selector shaft in the gearbox. So massive thanks actually to RHP Seaton for giving me a gearbox out of the Supra, and massive thanks to the PB crew coming down and giving me
I know we'll see you back at round 3 coming strong, mate. So we'll see you then. Bye.
All right, straight into action we go. The boss man, James McManaway from JDM in the barn find. R32 with Rody Knowles for Amalgamated Roofing in his S13. 600 horsepower at Rody's right foot disposal. And Rody cranks on the lock, trying to chase down the boss man. Out front, James McManaway coming off, I believe, his best ever result of 4th place, Kenny, yesterday in round number 1.
Bit of a surge, last minute surge there at the end there for the Amalgamated Roofing S13.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing some nervous looking driving early in the battles, aren't we, Kenny?
So a couple of RB30 DETs, straight 6 turbos battling out there. The old school R32 4-door Skyline leading out that S13 of Rody Knowles back in the Pro Championship after 20 years.
Now, actually, just out of interest, is that McManaway or is that Ben Odges? Because I think Ben Odges might be driving McManaway's car potentially as well. Where are we? It is James, isn't it? Let's just have a look at where. No, Ben Odges doesn't come up till round into the top 16.
So yeah, bottom of the bottom left of the tree. So James McManaway qualified P12 yesterday. Rody Knowles 21st place in qualified. Gee, that's
it's off results, isn't it? Though from yesterday. Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't actually. Sorry, I'm confused.
Yeah, it would have been Friday for your Friday Arvo. So yeah, Rody's got some work to do. Maybe he'll just
I think
be able to pip the JDM machine here as it's going into the pits. So we're going to have to go down to the lane and find out what has gone wrong here. Is he going to call his mechanical 5 minutes this early in the comp?
Wow.
It has paid off quite a number of drivers over the years.
So if you have just joined us, welcome along to the D1NZ for round number 2 of 2025. We're just completing the top 32 bracket at the moment to get our cars through to the 16, the 8, the 4 and the 2. Round 2, of course, drivers competing for those valuable championship points, looking to lock in a good early start to the season for the Drift Tours Japan prize, the biggest prize, Kenny, that we've ever had in D1NZ history, $15,000 value for both our Pro Sport and our Pro competitors heading over to Japan.
Okay, it looks like they're going to be calling a 5 minute for JDM here. We'll see if we can get to the bottom of what's going on as soon as the team let us know.
Okay, so our safety official is over there. So the
What do you
rules,
think it is?
Kenny,
it's hit a cut, some kind of cut in the ECU.
Oh, ECU cut. So they're going to have to plug into it like they did with Luke's car yesterday.
Yep, get the laptop on. Looks like a 5 minute rule.
Okay, time's on, so I hope the boys can get this sorted nice and quick.
So that means that someone touched the car, I think,
James.
Kenny. So the rules.
What's happening?
Yeah, time is
We've
running.
got a massive misfire up on boost, so I'm not too sure what's happening. We're just getting the laptop plugged in now. We're going to pull the log out, have a quick look. It's a hard one to chase because the car's been performing well all weekend.
But this barn find is one of the best cars in D1, mate. Surely there can't be anything wrong with it.
Mate, we can't let it go like this. We will be battling.
All right, mate. Well, I'll let your team get into it, and we'll see you back out there shortly.
Cool, thank you.
All right, Kenny.
Probably a 30-year-old, an over 30-year-old chassis.
That's been beaten on by multiple drivers, right? Like that's the car that whenever something goes wrong with anything else in the fleet, you just see anyone
it's the
driving.
spare car that certainly delivers when it needs to.
All Right, Adam Whitehead out of the Hawke's Bay for Pertec and Plan B. He qualified position 2 yesterday, Kenny.
Yeah,
but
he's
then
he's had some highs and he's had some lows for his first hit out at the Pro Championship. Be interesting to see how the Pertec team carry on through the season. He's got great support, great new campaign, new package for this season coming through. Those sponsors signing on board. The RHP S14 waiting in the wings.
So that is going to be Clayton Daly. Clayton Daly, who is lining up there. He was meant to be driving Seaton's Mustang, but Seaton told me to call him out for being too scared to drive the 700 horsepower Ford Mustang. My response was, Seaton, I'll see you at Pro Sport at Bay Park. So I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. So it is Clayton Daly to lead out over Adam Whitehead. This is, of course, based on qualifying done on Friday afternoon here, and Adam Whitehead's having some troubles here, Kenny. The car just didn't settle down and start flowing like it has for other runs. I wonder if they're chasing a gremlin maybe in that car somewhere.
Might have just had a little bit too much grip in the setup to start the section. Clayton Daly just driving away from him. Of course, Clayton not in his usual car, he's borrowing his brother's car.
He broke a lifter, I think, was it, on Friday in the Supra? I think that's what it was, broke a lifter or something like that.
GT Radio replay with the RHP S14 out in front. Clayton Daly normally campaigns a V8 powered, LS6 powered Mark IV Supra.
Yeah.
But the little the 235 class car, with I assume some 265s on the rear, is actually not doing too bad.
The first time round too, I didn't see Adam shortcut that last corner.
Yeah, a lot of front end steering input to try and get that car to actually move.
So he kind of, I mean, he's sort of halfway between all the prescribed lines. He's sort of halfway out, halfway in, and then he comes way down the track there.
I guess it's as safe as he could play it after a shabby start. So we'll have to see what happens in the next pass. What can he pull out of the bag in the lead? Can he redeem himself?
Well, he's just going to throw everything at it, doesn't he? I mean, he's going to force Clayton Daly to overdrive effectively and potentially make a mistake. But Clayton looks like he's pretty settled. He was a bit out of sorts yesterday in Aiden's car. It just didn't look like he wanted maybe to damage it. I imagine that going through his mind was, well, Aiden's still got 2 comp days in the car he needed to do, but right now doesn't matter. He can throw everything at it, and I know having spoken to Seaton before in the pits, Seaton would rather see you roll the car or crash it driving 110% than coming off the track and having something fail because you were driving safe. That's just the mentality that they kind of live by. One of the greatest interviews I think I've seen you do, Kenny, was with the RHP team. Definitely worth a watch on the Oversteer TV channel if you get a chance to have a look at that, the interview with Seaton and his boys Clayton and Aiden from the RHP team, and the story behind that team.
Adam Whitehead, based out of the Hawke's Bay. 750 horsepower 2JZ.
So what he's got this time around?
Up against the LS.
We're definitely seeing a lot more consistent starts this time, aren't we, Kenny? We're not seeing some of the games that were played yesterday. The judges were very, very specific on that. One of the earlier challenges we saw today too was drivers firing too high up on that track entry there, and effectively the cones are out. View them as a wall. If you hit them or knock one over, you're going to get a 0. Now Clayton Daly has missed that zone there, so Adam Whitehead doing what he can to try and recover some points here. Is it going to be enough? Now, Clayton Daly's kind of mimicked what Adam did the first time. He's kind of come down the track as well.
He committed to a tighter line, and that might end up hurting him.
Well, they go.
Take a look at the replay here.
They go lead for lead, chase for chase, and one judge views overall style against both drivers.
Not an entirely bad entry to begin with. Clayton Daly was thereabouts, just hanging in the pocket, but then he uses the ripple strip here, which they were not very fond of in drivers briefing this morning. They preferred that the chase car, if gapped a little bit, would stay on a mid-line. Adam Whitehead certainly opening the door for Clayton Daly to get on the door.
Where are you leaning here, Kenny? Any thought? I initially thought it was going to be Clayton Daly, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's probably one of those runs. It's not the prettiest. So you're sort of seeing mistakes from both drivers, and it's almost like going to be who made lesser mistakes because of the scoring format we're in with the lead for lead, chase for chase. Both are scored out of 100, and then there is an equivalent scoring for style, which is basically 50 points a run. If the judge views it as even, it's 25-25. If there's a slight advantage, it's 30-20, and so on. We didn't think we'd see Eddie one more times at all yesterday, and then we got 4.
Well, that answered that question straight out of the box, didn't it, with the brand new format?
Yeah. So there is James McManaway. They've obviously cleared, or they're comfortable, or James is just going to send whatever he's got at his disposal because it's not in his nature to quit and give up. James McManaway, JDM Racing boss, with 5 cars in total here this weekend. So we are working our way through the 32 just at the moment, and looking to put drivers into the top 16. A big warm welcome to all of our live stream viewers who are engaged in some interesting banter at the moment, Kenny. We've got that sort of interactive
debates.
Yeah, we've got that interactive aspect for those who prefer to watch via YouTube. We're also on Sky TV, KO and Foxtel, along with Pacific Direct. And a big hello to you wherever you're watching in the world.
Don't put yourself in timeout. The admins are keeping an eye on things.
Yes. We keep it very positive, and then we're keeping it positive. We're going...
let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's have some fun.
We had a lot of fun yesterday with the some of the hectic battles and the spicy runs. We're about to see the second pass soon, but we'll await this result here with Nick down in the lane.
Adam's race suit's great, isn't it? Really nice looking race suit. I do like the effort the drivers are going to, as we see the result come up on screen, and it is going to be Adam Whitehead going through. Oh, so we had that was the first time we've seen that split decision, Kenny, where you have one judge who doesn't quite agree and wants to see an OMT, but 2 judges in favour of Adam Whitehead and 1 in favour of an OMT, and that sends Adam Whitehead through as Roddy Knowles and James McManaway go head-to-head. McManaway will want to stay in the competition because he is chasing a result. Oh, McManaway, I think it's shut down on him. I think it must have just hit a cut there, Kenny, and now that to me there...
He's
just
centred at the end there.
Yeah, but that's a maturing James McManaway. The older James McManaway would have been just banging on the door then, right? He would have been frustrated, the red mist would have come in, and he probably would have gone tap, tap, tap on the door. But we're seeing a different sort of so he's had a shutdown there too, Kenny. Yeah. He is almost just driving straight through the whole section, and so that is going to significantly penalise James McManaway.
Something not quite working there for the guys at JDM Racing in the R32 barn find, as we've dubbed it.
Well, I think they dubbed it there, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, a great lead run from the Amalgamated Roofing S13. One for the RB fans.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it didn't quite go your way in the little brother's car, mate. Tell us what happened.
Oh, just to be honest, Adam was a better driver. Yeah, there's no excuses to that one. There's no excuses to that one.
But it's good of the brother to give the car up. And how does it feel in this thing?
Oh, it's wicked to be back in it, eh? Just having a boost around, and that's cool. Sean's got gearbox from my Super in it, and yeah, share parts around.
Reed and Harrison Performance Team already got 2 cars through from the bottom bracket already, so it's looking like a good day still.
Yep. No, hopefully the brothers keep going. And yeah.
Okay, we're going to go to the next battle. Thanks, bro.
Clayton Daly's always a happy chappy, isn't he?
Yeah, interesting to know. So obviously with the Super out of action, the RHP team donated that gearbox out of that car to Sean Potros, so that they could compete today.
Yeah, that drift camaraderie, and you heard Sean Potros say we had a couple of questions about the PB boys, of course, last year's champion Case and Cody, who was a former round winner as well, possibly coming back to do guest appearances, maybe Mount Smart, maybe Bay Park, as we go to a result for Roddy Knowles and James McManaway, and it is Roddy. Roddy Knowles goes through to the 16. Roddy Knowles through to 16, and I think Roddy will be pretty happy with that one.
Roddy, you won one, mate. How good?
Mate, how good, to be honest. I thought I'd sold it on the chase, and yeah, props obviously for James getting his car back going again. Yeah, hopefully we put on a much better show against Fanger. Been hanging out for this battle for probably 20 years now.
I was going to say, you've been coming here for 20 years, my friend. Is this the first time you got up against Fanger?
This is the first time against Fanger, so hanging.
This is going to be a sizzler, team.
Sizzler.
Yeah, that just illustrates how long Rhodey has been dedicated to the sport.
James, mate, the boys really did their best to get the car. Was it all sorted in the end?
No, mate, I think we'd be lucky to have 4 or 5 cylinders at the moment, but we'll shoot back in now, see if we can get it sorted for at least Ben to carry on and try and kick the ball in it, but we'll see what happens.
Yes, Ben's going up against Mike Thorley, so we really need to get all 6 cylinders firing, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, well, we might quickly grab Ben's 2J, whack it in the bonnet and send it out there, I think.
Wicked. Look, you've had a great weekend. You scored some really, really good points yesterday, and obviously the rest of the JDM team going to do everything to represent the brand.
Mate, absolutely. We just, fantastic crowd, great racing, so keep it
Wicked,
going.
mate. We'll see you at Mount Smart.
Cheers, mate.
Well, Rhodey Knowles moving through over James McManaway into the top 16, which means he's going to be lining up against Dan Woolhouse, who qualified in P5 on Friday.
Jeremy Slammett, who we know had to trailer his car all the way back to Palmerston to rebuild the engine overnight just to compete yesterday up against Braden Mayer, who's had a real mixed debut, hasn't he? The former age grade rugby player, Braden Mayer, who turned some heads certainly at a most recent appearance at the Summer Bash at Hampton Downs. But Jeremy Slammett, another young up-and-coming driver, one of the youngest drivers. Oh, Braden Mayer's had a big washout there, Kenny. The front end's let go on him and he's gone off the track, knocked over the cones, he's going back the other way, lost in the smoke, and that is an incomplete there for Braden Mayer. I will accept that one as a commentator's hex, maybe.
Jeremy Slammett, good to see him back out there in his own car, the JDM Mark IV Super, of course, running that GT86 front, the X10 D1NZ car from many moons ago, as we take a look at the GT Radio replay of Braden just not quite getting the midsection right. It all sort of looked great, but he didn't catch the front end of it.
No, it washed and went one way, and then he went to go back the other way, and then he was lost again and fired off the other side. So I think just that harsh learning curve, right, where you can go into a lot of competitions, you can do exhibition laps, etc., and a lot of guys can probably stick together a half decent with respect.
Look at the body language of the car, though. He's fighting it. It almost looks like it's too gripped up, a little bit too much drive.
Well, they're probably trying to learn how to put a car together for pro, right? Like you've got a completely different set of circumstances to your Matsuri type battles where you...
I'll give out some free advice.
Yes,
that
go
I've
for
learned
it.
from the pit lane over the years is start high, work low. So go out on a real skatey pressure, and then dial it back from there. Because it's always hard to go out when you've got a super gripped up car and you're just constantly fighting, and that's when breakages start happening.
Right. So yeah, I guess what I was trying to say there is, it's a hard learning curve, isn't it? Because a lot of guys can come out and do a qualifying lap, but then you get into battle, and you generally find you've sort of qualified lower down against guys who've got that little bit more experience. You go out and you're trying to find your way against cars you haven't battled before with a lot more smoke than probably you used to. Jeremy's baking those tyres off the line. Definitely not seeing yesterday's games. Great Mayer, no slack. It's
handbrake.
Messy, isn't it?
Messy handbrake to try and get the rear end of it back out to the zone.
It's just washing the front end each time he tries to get
Bonnet's coming up too. Active error on the front end of that. So Jeremy Slammett's just got to play it safe here, but not too safe because Braden's actually pulled some legs on him.
You don't want to be inactive, and that I think there will be deductions, right? If you go lead for lead, chase for chase, there's going to be deductions there on the entry from Braden Mayer because he had another go at it, and that's going to be his big challenge there. So Jeremy Slammett probably on the comms, trying to drive relatively safely, I think, given what we've seen Jeremy do before in terms of putting it up on the door. I think he is giving some space there. He would have seen what happened. We had some battles this morning in Pro Sport where drivers were sort of surging up on the inside of that corner and then finally they got pushed off by a lead car run that wasn't quite what they expected it to be. So probably smart driving there, I think, from Jeremy Slammett.
Braden Mayer, based out of the Bay of Plenty with a 700 horse RB30 DET, of course, backed by the authentic Honeyco. The JDM Racing Mark IV Supra in behind. Jeremy Slammett at the wheel. Now, he was the youngest winner of the MSC.
Yeah, youngest competition winner that I know of in New Zealand drifting competition. Jeremy, of course, from New Caledonia, but he came across when he couldn't legally drive and did a car competition with Sky Zhao on the team. It was the very first MSC, actually.
Based out of Palmerston North now with the JDM Racing.
Well, they live together, don't they? I think that was what I heard yesterday. I think Jeremy and James are housemates.
Maybe. So, so that means James is going to learn a little bit of French, maybe?
Well, if you've watched Jeremy's social channels, everything is in French, and I was talking to his media producer this morning who was saying it's quite confusing because he records everything in French as he goes, and then he has to translate it later. So there is the call for Jeremy Slammett getting all 3 sets of lights from Matt Kwok, Benke Bruin and Tony Gallagher.
Hey, Jeremy, mate, it's been a big weekend, but it looks like things are going the way you want them to.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a real hard weekend. Looks like, yeah, it's getting good on us. I haven't done the best run of my life, but I guess it's enough to get on, and I'm just excited to keep on going, yeah.
Well, I'm sure your next one will be the best one, eh? We'll see you back out there. Braden, just didn't quite go your way on that one, mate.
Nah, Carl was a bit of a dog.
Oh, what was going on?
Well, I got a rotary gearbox in, so third gear's too long. Oh, yeah, just the gears are real long, but nah, he drove well. All good.
Maybe just a little bit more setup time and you'll be back for Mount Smart though, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'll be back, definitely.
All right, mate, all the best, see ya.
Well, that explains a lot for the entry, right? If he's got long gears, he's going to be that will unnaturally give you that feeling of not having the grip, having too much grip, because it just doesn't get the drive out of the car. So we saw that yesterday with Ben Hodges, didn't we? He was battling, he lost third gear.
Yeah.
And then they called their mechanic for 5 minutes, changed the diff ratio and shortened up the gears so he could get through the section.
Alrighty, so now we take a look for the first time at Daniel Caldwell, currently sitting in second place in the Drift South Championship. And he is up against Justin Patterson, JP, who he went alright yesterday, JP. He wasn't too bad. Would have been wanting maybe a top 8 at least for his introduction to pro, but he got a decent showing out of his car yesterday. JP in the brand new build. Daniel Caldwell, 1200 horsepower LSX 427 underneath the bonnet, and somehow managed to grow that moustache from being clean shaven on Friday to that big old slug that's on his lip that you see today. Oh, Messi from Patterson, he hits the cones. And we've talked to, and then it's going to be an incomplete for both. Now Patterson's hit the cones, and then Dan Caldwell has had a really, really messy run that might be zeroed out as well. We might be looking at a 0-0 again. I don't think Caldwell's going to stop that.
Whoa.
That's going a long way in.
Bulldozing. He was just about to bulldoze it through the sand trap, which would not have been very good for the car.
That car is like impossible to control. It's just a wild animal.
Yeah, I think perhaps a little bit of testing when they head back to Ruapuna, their home track, just to try and get some.
Well, you would think
a little bit of drive out of it. It's the front end. It's like they just wash. But you see there, he's fighting the wheel hell of a lot.
So you got Patterson hitting the cones.
I do wonder what front end steering they run in the car actually.
If anyone actually knows, if anyone knows the answer to what the VIP boys run on the front end of the car, maybe Tiger White, if you're tuned in. We know you span other cars. If you could let us know what is in the front of the car.
There's a name from yesteryear.
So you got a 0 there, and then you've had you got a straight and then a go again, but it's another go again. So I think that's a 0-0.
I think it's a 0. Boys make their way back to the pits. Sam Edinburgh in the LSX 427 cubic inch V8 1200 horsepower. We've got the tyre deck.
Yeah.
Now actually this is Dan Caldwell though, isn't it? Or is he borrowing the car, isn't he?
I think that is Dan Caldwell's car, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Dan Caldwell's car, but Sam behind the wheel. Now I think they're going to stop him because he might have debeated a tyre.
Oh, it's flat on the side, and then all that stuff's just dumped on the start-finish line.
He's going to have to call mechanical 5 minutes.
Willie's going to have to clean that up because that's just a big old ugly mess of stuff that just fell out all over the track there.
I have to give that a bit of a sweep.
Messed up Willie's Link ECU start box. Launchmaster Willie will not be happy with someone spilling kitty litter all over his beloved kingdom.
According to my notes, V3 Wisefab.
Okay.
So they're running Wisefab in the front of the car. Which, you know, that's Sam's car. So Sam in Dan's car. So I don't actually have Dan's notes here. So yeah, I wonder what steering Dan's running in the front end of that thing.
Okay. Where are we at on the battle tree? Can you
with the tyre D-bead now, yeah, we're going to have to double check the rulebook regarding the D-bead because I think the
you
tyre
have to complete
has to be,
two passes
you
consecutively.
Do. So it might actually see him knocked out just based off the D-bead.
So that is over to technical, I think.
You looking for us, or?
we're just actually talking about the implications of a potential DB there for the VIP car. We believe that they have to complete 2 consecutive passes on the same set of tyres.
Well, he's allowed to...
Well, look, unfortunately, the lead car has actually zeroed by hitting a cone on entry.
So it's a 0-0.
So it's 0-0, yeah.
So in that case, what happens? Because he can't go again, obviously, on a D-beaded tyre.
Well, no, under the D-bead rule, he can't, can he?
So D-bead of the tyre, so this is the rule, tyre changing D-bead rule 7.10A, D-bead of a tyre for any reason other than impact with the other car, ripple strip or concrete barrier falls outside the requirements. Now, so he's made contact by flying off the track, right? But he's got to put the same tyre back on or change both. So he's already at a disadvantage.
Yeah,
so
and what it specifically says is cannot be remedied between runs. So you can't drive on a D-beaded tyre, so I guess that means Patterson through, is it?
Well, he can call his 5 to do it.
Can you?
Yeah, he'll be able to call his 5 to do that.
That falls outside the requirements for a competition timeout.
Where's that?
There. Falls out. 7.2A falls outside the requirements for competition timeout and therefore cannot be remedied between runs. I think that means that car's done.
Yeah, no, but he's made contact. It's the first part of the rule, you see, other than an impact with another car or ripple strip. So he's flying off the track. He's made contact with the ripple strip. So they can call their 5, change the tyre, get out there and go again.
All right. You're the technical commentator, so I'll trust you.
So this particular rule is what we were talking about yesterday, where we actually got rid of the minimum tyre pressure rule. It's now back in the series articles, but yeah, it was an idea to sort of speed up the decision making between runs in which guys would go out there because they were chasing the dragon, right, the grip monster, trying to get 10 pound, less than 10 pound in the rear end of the in the tyre. And it all, if you D-bead a run, mid-run, a tyre D-beads, and you don't make contact with anything, fair call. You run the gauntlet. You ran the risk of trying to put low pressures in the rear, and you lose that opportunity to change the tyre. But in this case, because he's made contact and with the 0-0, it's pretty simple to bolt a new tyre on, and away we go again.
So what happens? So they have to take the rib off and then just go re-inflate it. Is that right?
Technically speaking,
yes.
But with limited time, he's already at disadvantage. He's going to have now. So look, they've put pretty much a brand new, might be lightly scrubbed, but it looks like brand new to me. So they're going to have a tyre that's done 1 lap on the rear, on the right rear, and a brand new tyre on the left rear. So it's going to be a handful for him to drive anyway. I almost feel like it would be nicer to let him put both a matching pair on the rear, as opposed to going out there with a mismatched grip level in the rear end now.
Yeah, well, look, it's debatable, isn't it, in terms of the benefits here. But look, I guess the drivers have come a long way. They want to put on a show. We'd rather see a result happen on the track than off the track due to technicalities, etc. That's something that the drivers did pretty much universally agree on. So they all want to win on the track rather than, I think there was 2 drivers that put up their hand saying they wanted to win on a technicality.
Big shout out to everyone tuning in on the live stream around the world on Oversteer TV. And just to answer some questions live, yes, the rules do state that tyres must complete 2 passes. However, that is what the D-bead rule is about. If you do want to read the series articles and the rules and regulations for D1NZ, head over to Motorsport New Zealand as we get into the next run. Adam Davies up against the RHP machine.
Yes, it's Sam West, Mr. West, a couple of drivers who probably know. A little bit of a wash there in the front end from Sam West, trying to keep up with the rapid 20B of Adam Davies for Mimico and Hydralink Racing. Sam West is going to stay on the track. Oh, he drifted way up there, and then I can see the rear bumper hanging off Sam West's car. Did it go slightly off track, and where was that? Was it after the section, or was it part of it? Let's have a look at the GT Radio replay here.
Adam Davies back in the
There's a
20B.
couple of washes here from Sam. Sam's car didn't look settled, and there was definitely a steering input there from him. And then
A little bit deep through that midsection.
Watch what happens here. Where does Sam end up on the track?
He's blown out a bit wide. Yeah, he was unsettled over the ripple strip, so the judges probably would have got a clearer view of that from their position up in the tower. It's the run-up, the initiation run-up, getting that those first two outer zones to link is so crucial. The slowest part of the section and just trying to overcome that grip.
Yeah, I guess the question, is there I don't think there's any cones out there. I think Sam's at least ended up on the green, if not the dirt. And I just don't know where he's ended up there. So I assume Willie will just reset that bumper on the back there. Then the boys will just throw some duct tape on that once it gets back to the pits. A lot of interest in seeing where the Pullenbury boys are. The Pullenbury boys, Case and Murray, are actually in Sean Potros's pit. You would have heard him say that earlier on the broadcast. So Cody and Murray spinning spanners for Sean Potros, who we heard actually had Clayton Daly's gearbox in the car, and Case having a well-deserved break at the moment, having gone to World Time Attack in Australia, but looking at coming back and doing the Mount Smart potentially and Bay Park rounds. Pulsing away the Team DSR machine of Adam Davies. I think it's a Green Brothers engine in that car. Kenny just making notes here against the technical rules. The series articles and the regulations are available. I'm not sure if they're publicly available, Kenny, or whether you kind of just kept that for
all the rules are publicly available, and if you want to do some homework, head over to the Motorsport New Zealand website, punch in D1NZ, and you can check out the full list of rules and regulations in our series articles and the technical regulations, including the judges' rulebook, is floating around somewhere online as well.
Okay, so this is Adam Davies, the #1 qualifier, chasing down Sam West, a pair of Tauranga locals. A bit of debate, friendly debate, a little bit of banter as to what is the real bay, Kenny, Hawke's Bay or the Bay of Plenty, and the boys from the Bay of Plenty at the moment looking to put on a show out here on track. Sam West and Adam Davies for Mimico Hydrolink Racing. Such a beautiful sound, isn't it? That rotary singing away when Adam Davies has got that thing on song. Had a little chat with his pit crew yesterday, and they were talking about the fact that it is quite a technical beast to get it performing correctly, because everything is engineered to the nth degree to try and extract maximum performance from it. So it does have the odd little gremlin from time to time. The Team DSR cars, as always, though, look absolutely beautiful down there with their big rig in the pits.
Who's taken the victory here out of Adam Davies and Sam?
I think, look, Sam's runs were just less tidy, so I think the call will go in favour of Adam Davies, would be my thinking at this point in time. But I've been wrong before, Kenny, once or twice in my last 20 odd years.
I think it was the first lap that sort of was the big sort of points deductions for me in terms of the start of the run.
What we don't know is where Sam ended up too in his chase run.
Yeah, that's right. He could have very well zeroed himself out.
Yeah, that was something that we picked up on, but we weren't sure it was exactly where it was. But the judges have their own closed loop replay system, so they will be able to see that, and they will make deductions accordingly. We'll wait for a result to be locked in.
First battle of the top 16. Who will be going through to the top 8?
So it is Adam Davies going through. Adam Davies goes through. So we had Adam Davies receiving 2 votes and 1 vote for an OMT.
Oh, Adam, Q1 this direction, and now we're in the battles and we're going to right.
Yeah, I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch, but hey, I was happy with my lead run. I can tidy up, but my chase I was quite happy with. Few places to improve still, but yeah, our car's feeling good now. It was a little bit iffy earlier on, but changed a few things and we're good to go.
Beautiful, mate. Turn around, we'll see you back out there. Sam, mate, you were 3-wheeling on your lead there, but the old dog's just got it, eh?
Yeah, the old dog Adam got it. He's better today, but I'll come back stronger next time, eh? Kurt's going to do it for us, though, I think.
Kurt's going to hold it for RHP, but yeah, good to see you out there, mate, and we'll see you back at Mount Smart.
Awesome, bro. Thank you.
So we're on the way again with
here's the interesting battle of the tyre DB rule.
Right.
So it's the second pass for Justin Patterson and Sam Edinburgh.
I think it's Dan Caldwell's car, isn't it?
It's Dan Caldwell's car, yeah. But Sam behind the wheel. Oh no, maybe it is Dan Caldwell.
Yeah, I think it's Dan Caldwell in that car.
They were sharing it though, weren't they?
Yeah, we had the weird thing yesterday where they qualified in the same car and then ended up battling each other, so they ended up having that exhibition battle. So today it is Dan Caldwell right down the bottom of the bracket there against Justin Patterson. Dan Caldwell qualifying 22, Sam Edinburgh 17. So we saw Dan Caldwell go spearing off the track the first time. Had to come off the track and replace a tyre.
So my bad, I thought it was Sam because they were sharing that car after qualifying.
I did say to them, look, boys, is it possible to get some sort of roof marker or something on the cars, because they are quite similar, particularly when they're buried in tyre smoke. You can see the VIP, but you can't necessarily see the bits below that. So hopefully they'll work something out for us for Mount Smart, particularly at night with black cars. Going to make that pretty tough to try and decipher who is who.
Some chat in the live chat about the 400 horsepower brigade are back. So
oh, good.
But if you're into that kind of stuff, head over to the MSC Drift Challenge. You can also check out Drift Wars or your local track day.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with anyone's opinion.
Nothing wrong with it.
Today we are here
but
at D1.
But don't say it doesn't exist, because it does, and it's huge. So get down and support it.
Yeah, this is just pro-level competition. It is open to interpretation. There are 5 control tyre brands that drivers have available to use, and that is what they choose from. And whatever, let's be honest here, drivers run whatever is either most cost effective or what they feel is best for them. And there's no right or wrong to that. That's just how it is. So anyway, we'll keep debating that till the cows come home, because you can never tell some people certain things. You lead a horse to water or whatever it is. Let's keep looking through the battle tree as we move upwards and onwards in the top 16 battles. This is the final of the 16 battles.
Wait, the result down there live with Nick in the lane, and there it is.
Oh, Dan, that must feel good for you, mate.
It was real good, but I think I was pretty lucky there. But yeah, no, stoked on that one, yeah.
Well, that's all good, mate. We'll turn the car around and we'll see you back out there for the top 8. Top 16, I'm told. Justin, mate, that was a... Can't hear a thing. Mate, you're driving really well in this new car, and maybe it's got a little unlucky on that one.
Oh, I had no tyres left after out there. I was chasing him, I felt good, and then as I came into the S, there was just nothing home, so I just had to sort of float it home and hope for the best. And but yeah, all power to him. If I didn't stuff up my chase and hit those cones, might have been a different story, but hey, I've got to fix those mistakes.
Look, mate, a couple of weekends time we're back at Mount Smart, so you'll be back out there again?
Yeah, get into it, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, team, so we are about to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be into the top 16 battles, and the action is getting hotter and hotter down here in Taupo.
So we're back here at Taupo Motorsport Park, round number 2 of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship for round number 2. A big thank you to our commercial partners, including 10 Tools, round sponsors for rounds 1 and 2, and NZKW. Also supporting D1NZ, GT Radial, the official tyre, Repco, TTI Gearbox, Mimico, and Repco. Kenny, great to see so many sponsors getting behind at D1NZ for the season. Great to see so many new sponsors on board with drivers as well.
Yeah, that's right. Good to see NZKW back in the game as well, which back when I was first started my commentating career was
that was a long
place
time ago
to get your stuff.
That was a long time ago. Not quite as long ago as me, but still a long time ago. You and I are both relics of the early 2000s.
A couple of the old NZKW seats that were out of the Daigo Saito car are actually sitting in my garage. So.
Ah. The car that you have yet to build?
Yeah.
A lot of talk about your drifting career, Kenny, and when that might happen.
I decided to cut the firewall out of the car, so that's already ruled me out of D1.
Right. Street stock instead. Great to see so many people tuned in online as well and engaging in robust chatter via Oversteer TV. Subscribers only able to participate in that chat. Welcome to our viewers as well.
Robust chatter.
Robust
Yeah, it looked
chatter.
like there was a few people that were a little bit miffed by the tyre D-bead rule there, and hey, whatever, that's up for debate. One would argue that a fresh tyre matched with a worn tyre is actually a disadvantage for the driver. He's already zeroed himself out as well, so it was just a peculiar case where both drivers had zeroed on that first
That was a look at some highlights, previous years gone past. That was, of course, from Taupo, wasn't it? That Nico Reed incident, I think, ran over the top of somebody. Was it Connor Halligan he ran over?
Yeah, that's right. It was actually the event where we ran the, we were running with the Summer Motorsport Series.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, which was an interesting time in New Zealand Drift.
Yeah. Anyway, NZKW on board this weekend with Jordan Joyce, naming right sponsors for him along with Stock Street.
So there's a little bit of that sledge action going on.
And here is a look for the first time at our Californian visitor, Jeff Jones, Formula Drift driver, 818. Jeff Jones certainly doing a lot social media-wise, and we chucked him off a bridge too, Kenny. If you were watching the broadcast earlier on, Jeff Jones partaking in a bungee jump here at Taupo, the real New Zealand experience. Now, Kenny, do you reckon that car is sitting level in the rear? Because I reckon it's lower on one side than the other. I'm sure it's lower almost on the left-hand side than the right. I don't know if it's just the way it's loading up. Or... See, it just looks like it's a lot further leaned over on one side.
Could be deceptive with the guard, but perhaps maybe with the setup of the car attacking the circuit today. Sometimes they do odd things. I remember many years ago at Pukekohe Park Raceway, you'd run one spacer on one side, on the leading side.
I've never actually seen that before. Is it a piece of wisdom from one of our drivers?
There's a lot of funky things happen in drift car setup land.
Right. And do you do it more for certain tracks, maybe?
Yeah, more. I mean, Pukekohe is a really interesting one because you always had that big, long right-hand sweeper, and then you only had a little switch. So it's predominantly a right-hand turn the whole track, right? So there was all these different setup ideas, the track width of the front and the rear, and whether you offset it one side, almost like Speedway actually in some cases. Where you'll see a Speedway car or a NAS car is sort of set up to be on the oval, but maybe there is a problem there for Jeff Jones, or maybe that's how they want it set up. Like I say, it could be deceiving with the guard as well.
Well, it might be a comfort thing for Jeff, I suppose, as well, because given we've talked about the fact he's not really used to driving a right-hand drive car. Now, Jordan Joyce is a long way out, and it was quite fluky the way that he got into that first part of the section there. Jeff Jones doing a great job here. Jeff Jones has only done probably 7-8 odd battle laps now, but then there's a washout from the front end there of Jones just as we changed camera shots. Jordan Joyce out, and then Jeff Jones is speared right up the inside there, mid-track, and he's got out of drift and then got back into it. I wonder if there's an understeer there from Jeff Jones closing out the section. So
looks like he's got some drive out of the car now, but maybe too much compared to yesterday. He was doing, sort of towards the end of the competition yesterday, he was blowing out wide, but now there's a bit of drive in the car, but perhaps too much grip. fighting the wheel through the start of the
Yeah, a lot of steering input, and the car just
section
flattens out. There's something that happens just here, just as we switch there, it flattened out quite a lot, and then again you'll see here, he ends up mid-track here, and then the car...
Great lead run so far from the NZKW S14 of Jordan Joyce.
Big old waiver.
2JZ versus turbocharged LS V8 in behind for the JDM 180. Yeah, massive correction there for Jeff Jones. He'll be...
Jordan Joyce is too good to kind of make that sort of mistake against too, because Jordan should be right there with him, you would think, in the chase position.
I think Jeff will be a little bit upset with himself. He'll have to tune into his Instagram feed, get the live update.
Well, so what we sort of know, I suppose, about these top drivers too, as they come out of FD as well, they're incredibly self-critical. They're looking at what mistakes they made first, rather than trying to, I guess, blame anything else, be the mechanical or the judges or whatever else is going on. So, yeah, it's great to have Jeff Jones here as part of our internationals for D1NZ for 2025.
Now, if you are wondering why the cones are so ruthless, the cone rule here on this layout is so ruthless, it's the marker of the track edge. It's about the judges wanting the cars to be on that specific line. So when you tap a cone and you score a 0, or you score a 20-point deduction in some cases we saw on the first layout, that's the reasoning. It's pretty simple as that. If you've blown out off the track, offline, you're not going to score well. It's pretty clear cut. It's pretty easy to understand.
Yep, simple as that. A cone is a wall. For all intents and purposes, a cone is a wall, and don't mess up Taupo Motorsport Park. So Jeff Jones gets settled down into his work here. Jordan Joyce chucks it into. Now Joyce is wavering around there in the chase position. That first corner is just proving so tricky. And now it's up to Jordan Joyce to try and decide how he comes back and attacks Jeff Jones. He's going to try and gain some proximity here.
Pouring away from him, he's just powering away now.
What created that distance? Did Jordan have something?
Quite
Did
a bit
Jordan
of disparity
bog down?
there.
Jordan's gone off and stopped. Right at the end there, Jordan's gone off the track.
Take a look at the entry. Jordan, I think Jordan's balked himself a little bit, but then Jeff has had a moment too. Didn't quite fill that second outer zone, but lock up as well.
Jeff's got probably the
front end
flow
lock up
going
in the chase there. Yeah, I mean, he's just been flowing away, and I think there's just too many corrections for Jordan in the chase there, and it just accumulated on him.
Yeah, Jordan has completed the run, but then something weird happened at the end there where you sort of saw him off the track.
So here's
broke.
Here's the problem for Jordan. He took two
front
stabs at it to try and get it to steer, and then Jeff Jones had a moment out the front as well. Then you'll see that front right lock up for Jordan Joyce in the chase through the midsection. Still, perhaps the...
yeah, we know Jeff's had some weird things
maybe
going
the high
too,
boost
right?
switch got flicked on that one for Jeff Jones.
Well, we know that he had a couple of... I mean, maybe he could have just clicked fifth, because he did say that he went to grab the handbrake on Friday and he just clicked the car into fifth, and it got really scary really fast.
Yeah, I mean, if you've just joined us on the broadcast today or here at the track, Jeff Jones, based out of Sun Valley, California, normally campaigns at 350Z in Formula Drift, which is a left-hand drive over there in the States.
Yes.
So it was his first time competing in a right-hand drive drift car this weekend here in New Zealand.
All right, here we go. What's our first look coming up next at Whangadan and Rhodey Knowles, but first we'll find a result for Jordan Joyce and Jeff Jones. Bonnie and the boys from Stock Street spannering on Jordan's car as always.
We wonder if Jordan had the tyre. Was it tyre deck? Did they run a scrub set?
One more time. One more time. So that's interesting. So that's just basically ugly from both, I guess. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. One more time for Jeff Jones and Jordan Joyce. It would be cool to chat to the judges to get the finer details on that, but let's rip into it. Next battle out on track.
Battle of the Bay of Plenty with Dave Stedman, the veteran drifter, multiple three-time NZ, and Kurt Blackie in the silver machine known as Wolfie, the 86. A little bit of a jump and a surge there from Kurt Blackie just to try and get things going. Kurt Blackie has really chased aggressively this weekend, Kenny. He's really trying to make a name for himself as a guy who is right up on the door. But there's a waiver there and a straighten up from Kurt Blackie in the chase. I think he might have just lost his way a little bit there. Trying to surge back up onto Dave Stedman again, but Pretty good there from Kurt Blackie, apart from just that waver through the middle there where he lost his drift a little bit and flattened back out.
That waver might not have hurt him too much because he would still maintain that line position, but he lost that proximity and then sort of gained it back again. So we'll see what Dave Steedman can do in the chase. Kurt Blackie qualified in 20th place, so he's going to put his battle hat on today. He's obviously had a big battle to start with. Sean Potros in the 32. He's now lined up against Dave Steedman, who's qualified P4 on Friday. Is certainly one of the higher ranked veterans at the moment.
Making it work. Dave, of course, rocks the Salt and Pepper look. Vehicle Service Centre is Dave's day-to-day business if you need your vehicle serviced in the Tauranga region.
His teammate Adam Davies already through to the top 8. After this, we will see Dan Woolhouse and Brodie Knowles. That's going to be an old school battle. And then you've got Luke Fink, Adam Whitehead on the other side of the tree. Ben Odgers, Michael Thorley. That's going to be super interesting with Ben in the 32, the JDM Racing 32. You've got Brodie Marr and Jeremy Slammer. I think that one, for me, is going to be... That's going to be a little wild card battle for me.
And then you got Connor Halligan, who we haven't seen yet, local boy, and Daniel Caldwell with the 1200 odd horsepower at his disposal. So hopefully he's got that tamed down, because we know that Connor Halligan has also had an interesting weekend, Kenny, in terms of keeping his car out to angle. So that one will be one to watch for sure. But here we go with Kurt Blackie in the lead and Dave Steedman in the chase. I did call Dave the George Clooney of Tauranga yesterday. I was hoping he might bring me an espresso for saying something like that, but he didn't. Dave doesn't have the proximity that Kurt Blackie did in his chase run, but then we know Kurt made that mistake as well. So Kurt Blackie's throwing down hard here, Kenny, and I wonder if he might have a... Dave, right up the track there. Right towards the end there. Did he push up and think he was going to go off the track?
Of course, as we've seen over the competition action over the last 3 days, is the judges have been absolutely ruthless on the penalties, and the white lines very much so dictate the edges of the track. So it's a shame, really, because they said when we saw what would have been 99-point runs in qualifying on Friday, and then they ended up scoring a 0 simply because they'd blown out and dropped 1 or 2 wheels off on the lines.
Well, to be fair, the rule is sort of set by the venue too, right? Do not exceed the edges of our track. Yep. Do not go and dig trenches that we have to repair afterwards. So the rules are in place for a reason. It's
also not rallycross, right? We're not here to do rallycross, we're here to do drift.
Although that's arguable depending on which battles you've been watching, Kenny, because some of them have been very rallycross-like. I think the best height so far, was it Dan or Sam yesterday from VIP? Who did the big jump in the middle? Or was it Luke Fink in the final?
Luke Fink had the big finale. But yeah, certainly one of the VIP boys had, I think both of them had spent some time mowing some lawns.
Well, there has been a fair...
Doing gardening, I think it was.
Yeah. There's been a bit of that this weekend.
We don't really mean it, guys. We love our South Island competitors.
We do.
Although I think it's Justin that's going to give them the slap on the wrist.
Yeah, we would like to see more of them, to be fair, as well. If, more of our South Island brethren could join us.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame Johnny Latham was unable to be here today for round 2 with the...
We did see him this morning, didn't we?
Yeah, he must have tested the car this morning, but obviously not happy with it. He messaged me the other night saying the nitrous wasn't playing ball, so yeah, deciding to save the TRD NASCAR motor.
That looks like Dave. I reckon Dave's just conceded that one maybe to young Kurt, but we'll just wait and see how the judges slide, whether they go A, B or OMT. Dave certainly doesn't look excited, whereas Kurt jumped out of that car pretty fast. I reckon he thinks he may have got that one. What's the call here, gents?
Dave, in your eyes, what happened out there?
Obviously, I only know what I did on my lead and my chase. I don't know what he did behind me. I made some mistakes in my chase. I felt my lead was the best run I've done all day, all weekend in fact, so pretty happy with that. But yeah, made some mistakes in my chase, so it comes down to what Kurt did.
And Kurt, what about yourself?
Yeah, like Dave said, I can only see what I see in the car, but I felt like I put down a pretty gangster chase. Where I was lacking was probably my lead. off a few zones. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Just confirming, unfortunately, that you are right. It was your lead, and Dave gets the win.
Well, Dave Steadman goes through. So Dave Steadman goes through the multiple-time, three-time NZ as we take a look at the Howling Coyote of Fangadan. The Castrol out front. Oh, now that's, how do you describe that? Fanga rotated to angle so violently, I don't think Rhodey knew where to go. But has he rotated too fast, or has Rhodey just been too keen to try and hang with him? I mean, his cone's gone flying, so he's off the track.
In terms of what the lead car needs to do, I think Fanga's actually made a mistake through the midsection there, but that's just at first glance. We'll unpack it further in the GT Radial replay. Has he actually transitioned far too early? And I'm just hearing that I think the replay machine has blown up.
Oh, good.
One of them, anyway.
Oh, excellent. That's
it's
always
left
good.
The chat, and that explains why Thomas came in here looking for tools just before.
Is that what he was? I thought he was just raiding our fridge.
He got a rattle gun. That was the thing he grabbed, was a rattle gun. I don't know how you fix a computer with a rattle gun, but it's happening.
Okay, all right. Technical difficulties as we wait for Rhodey and Fanga to come back round. So, look, it would be good to sort of, I mean, if we could talk to the judges to get their feedback on the Dave Steadman and Kurt Blackie run, if they were available. We'd love to unpack that, Kenny, to see what you think it was.
I do wonder if the judges' DSO system might just be able to still capture something, because it's got a separate feed, although we were having dramas with that the other day too. So remains to be seen. So it's a shame I can't unpack that for you, because I'm fairly, at first glance, I thought Fanga was not filling that third outer zone very well. And then he just sort of had this super snappy transition that probably caught the chase car out. But see here, Rhodey Knowles heading back to the pits.
Must be a 5, right? Because I didn't. Well, was there contact, or did he just go off the track? We don't have the ability to bring that up, unfortunately. Just thinking back there, but I don't know that there was contact, because I didn't see Fanga's bumper dragging, which you would have thought would be off if Rhodey had contacted it.
So Rhodey Knowles calling a mechanical 5 minutes in the amalgamated roofing S13. I wonder if we can poke our nose in that pit bay and just see what's going on there. We've got Nick down there who might be able to give us some updates.
Oh, okay, let's see. Rhodey, what do you think it is, bro?
I think that the left front wheel might have had a dent or a bend or something. Yeah, I heard a big clunk there when I switched in behind him. I was ready to go, but yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like he's got a steering issue of some sort. So you just want to get the boys to check it over?
Yeah, 100%, mate. As long as as long as there's still air in the tyre, mate, I'm happy to send it. So as long as the boys say we're good, then we're good.
Okay, we'll let the boys get into it.
So it's just a safety check, effectively, Kenny. There's not anything deemed as being wrong or of too much concern there to Rhodey. He just wants. I think he knows he's got Fanga, right? You don't go out. You don't go and take 8 bullets out of 10 if you're going to take a gun to fight Fanga Dan, do you? So it will be interesting just to see how the. Well, look, we may not even see it really if we don't have replays, etc. The comment we just made was just obviously the way that Fanga did approach that section made it quite interesting looking from the camera perspective that we had. So it would have been interesting to see how the judges would judge that type of fault, whether it was like some of the earlier battles where effectively the chase driver had run themselves out of room, or whether that type of movement out so violently threw off the chase driver.
Well, I managed to fire up a replay just for you and me here, Warren, so take a look at another look at it here.
Oh,
yeah, okay, so he was off that outside zone, but the transition, nothing wrong with the transition. Right. I think it was just so violent and snappy it caught him out.
Yeah,
I think
he just didn't expect it maybe, right?
I think
Fanga's the only one. Fanga's probably the only car that's capable of rotating to that much angle that fast. So
yeah, I think he's caught himself out on the rear end. He just didn't leave room for the lead car.
Oh, Jordan Joyce gets hit by Jeff Jones. He gets drilled. Jordan Joyce, this is the same thing we saw this morning from Matt Brown, where we saw that kind of little flick to go and initiate, and then it just didn't come back the other way. Jeff Jones, nowhere left to go, drills into the rear of Jordan Joyce's car. Now, I did see Jordan's hand come out the window straight away, so it does look like he's okay. So is Jeff Jones, but that is a spectacular way to kick off that battle. Jeff Jones just getting out of the car here. Now, is he just looking to check if there's any damage? Jordan's got steering wheel coming off too, and the helmet comes off. That was a whack, Kenny, into the rear of that car. And there is a decent cleanup that's going to be needed there.
Just checking that the drivers are A-OK in there. It looks like both of them got their helmets off. Jeff was trying to get out of the car there, so Peter here in the team, the safety team, out there checking over the cars, and it looks like we've got a clean up on aisle 1.
Yeah, that was just... Well, that's one way to ensure some airtime for NZKW anyway.
It was definitely going to be one of those areas that we thought was going to bring some drama today, and it was off the initiation heading into the first outside zone. Shake of the hands there from Jordan Joyce and Jeff Jones, our international guest this weekend. Oh, wow. Actually, there was another car in Pro Sport that did this, didn't
Matthew
they?
Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. And almost the same thing where it had locked up, almost like, is it? Yeah, is he, I don't know.
Some of the steering kits bind on you, right? When you actually go, there's such a small window. Yeah, like when it goes lock to lock. I wonder if it's actually just bound up on himself.
Well, it's still
on the front
sitting
end
locked that way.
Yeah.
And it didn't get hit in the front. So the fact it didn't get hit in the front, it's still sitting like that after rotating around. Yeah, maybe it has broken or something has got stuck there. There probably is a fancy term for it that you and I don't know, Kenny, that someone with a much greater knowledge of suspension geometry will drop probably into our live chat within about 10 seconds.
A bit of steering bind, plus the hit. I think he's over-rotated too. You got the hit spinning him around, but it was the lock problem, right?
Yeah.
It just threw in too much lock.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's locked right up there. And then the front, yeah, you see it move around.
The rear,
wavered when
the
it caught.
rear end of it's locked up too, though. So, engine cut? It's just another one of those things. You wouldn't throw in a big opposite lock handbrake like that. It's just, I think the car's shut down on them. The rear wheels were locked up. Or was that just him on the handbrake trying to stay off the wall?
Yeah, tried to grab the handbrake
spin it out.
Move, yeah.
Drama. It's only round 2 of the series. We're in the top 16 currently. Jordan Joyce versus Jeff Jones, but drama straight off the start line. We will see the rest of the top 16 action unfold very soon. We'll be back right after this.
Well, that's an interesting comment, isn't it?
Taupo Motorsport Park.
Yeah.
We've got some information out of the pits there. I think Jordan might have been trying to actually just give him a bump to keep him off the front, because I think the car was heading towards the wall.
Yes, there's some speculation from a different angle or replay here from a knowledgeable party who's basically suggesting that they thought Jordan was actually going to hit the wall, and that Jeff Jones has actually deliberately made contact with Jordan Joyce's car for safety reasons, oddly, to push him past the tyre bundle to try and save Jordan's car. So look, if you're good enough to react that quickly and think about things in that kind of context,
it does happen.
That's an amazing type of thing, really. I mean, if you think about it from a Tony Gallagher point of view, then usually you hit to pass, but that is the same thing. It's manipulating the car up the track to try and avoid a much more negative outcome.
Yeah, because sometimes when you hit those tyre bundles, it just becomes a catapult.
Yeah.
And it just does all sorts of damage to the car. And sometimes a little love tap just to spin it can save the car.
Well, look, I've broken suspension components right when I was doing speedway, and the car just goes where it wants to go, right? Once it's done, you're a passenger and you just don't have a lot of time, and all you do basically is prepare yourself for impact and almost try and sometimes let go of the steering wheel so you don't break thumbs.
Yeah, well, that used to be the thing to do, right? I mean, in FD they've got the arm restraints, but it used to be the hands-on helmet. Once you knew that it was all over, supporting the neck and keeping your arms out of the way. Of course, the Hans device, which is a neck restraint, which is something that is used in D1NZ. And certainly at we are back at Taupo International Motorsport Park here in New Zealand, wherever you are tuning in around the world and live here in New Zealand on Sky TV.
There is
Sports in Australia as well as Kaio.
That's Cody Pullenbury, by the way. We keep getting asked where the PB boys are, so that's Cody Pullenbury down there, along with Nux from Sean's team. I see Punny in there as well. Murray will be down there too, Murray PB, and the rest of the team just working furiously away. There is Murray there, and well, Matt Kwok's eyesight's given up on him, and he's on the binoculars. He's looking for cars to buy, I hear. So we did throw out what we was suggested there in terms of potential intentional contact from Jeff to try and preserve Jordan's car. Yeah, look, it does sound quite far-fetched, doesn't it, from an objective point of view? But maybe it's true. Maybe it's accurate. Mac, Tony, Benke, thoughts up there from the tower gentlemen in terms of both cause and effect there?
Yeah, we're pretty certain Jordan is obviously at fault. The interesting one is it's kind of looking like Jeff's gone in there to save him. You know, if he'd hit those tyres front on and bounced out, he was probably going to wear one in the door.
Yeah, would have wrecked both cars.
Yeah, you'd have to talk to Jeff, but it's got that look about it. He sort of might have intentionally hit him to try and rotate him. So, yeah, have a chat and see.
I'm willing to trust that opinion from yourself and Tony Gallagher as men who know how to both hit a wall and hit someone else to manipulate where they end up. Is that a fair piece of feedback, gents?
Yeah, 100%. Like with our speedway background, there's been plenty of it. I mean, I finished my speedway career trying to do what Jeff just done to someone. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It very much had that look about it. So yeah, it'll be worth getting down and having a chat to Jeff.
Okay, we'll see if we can get Nick Hoyle, our man on the ground down there, to have a chat with Jeff Jones in the JDM Racing pits, although there's probably a bit of activity down there because...
Yeah, we're good to get an update from the guys. Yeah. Like, there's a few things happening in the pits there. We had Roddy Knowles in checking the front end of that car, and now we've got both these guys looking over their cars. So it'll be interesting to see if Jordan Joyce can get back out there. Right. As we see Roddy Knowles and Fangadan back on the line.
So Roddy Knowles off a 5-minute mechanical. He called this his dream battle earlier. Fangadan was somebody he's looked up to and respected for a large number of years, and to be out here battling him in pro is a bit of a dream come true for Roddy.
RB30 up against the Coyote 5-litre V8. Roddy now leading out. Now you'd have to say Roddy potentially with a disadvantage in the first run, so he's trying to lay down the best lead run he can.
Fangadan's still right there with him though in the smoke. Fangadan sitting right in the back pocket there. Oh, Roddy's going to rotate round and spin. Now, is he deemed? Oh, now Fangadan has seen him spinning, and there's a cone just... So look right to the right there, and you'll see it just as he turns around. There is the cone that marks the end of the section. Now, Roddy Knowles has spun through that. Is he deemed as being under control?
He might be. In the past, it's, you know, oh, you've crossed the finish line. But
if
when
he's
talking about
spinning out,
the safety aspect, Fangadans would have seen this as like, oh no, he's gone off the track, and he's thrown it away as well, just to prevent any contact happening. So we'll take a look at the GT radio replay here. Amalgamated Roofing S13 trying to lead out the 4-time New Zealand champion.
So he didn't really create a huge distance, did he? Fangadan sort
No,
of stayed right there, about the
stuck with him in
same.
the smoke, and then
kinda,
I was listening to the throttle. He was just
oh,
hard.
yeah,
up it.
it's over rotated past
Yeah.
90 there. So
Yeah.
Rody Knowles is out of control there.
Fanga's followed him.
Yeah, he's hung on to it.
But Brody's
yeah.
definitely on more inner exit, inner line exit, and I think he's going to be marked down for that.
So we know that Rody had to call us
Full
5 minutes
sense
as
in the
well.
lead.
So
Full send Rody in the lead, trying to lay down the best lean run.
which
and
we
Fangadan was he was stuck in that smoke for such a long time, and then he managed to pop out, get onto that outer zone.
yeah. So then we're going to go back to the first run, right? Well, Rody kind of went off the track too in the first run. So we could, if there's determined fault, we could see an OMT out of that one.
Potentially,
0-0-0-0, but I don't think we will.
Leaning in favour of Fangadan.
Fangadan, yeah.
At least on paper.
Yeah.
But
well, Jordan,
we'll wait for the judges.
here we go. Jordan Joyce back out. The boys from PB Drift and the SMP crew and the Stock Street Autos team have got Jordan Joyce back out. He's ready to go. So was there any damage done to the Jeff Jones car becomes the next question as we wait for Nick to give us a result for Fangadan and Rody Knowles.
Quite a few people reminiscing of some of the old legendary cars in the D1 card collection, I suppose. From years gone by. Fangadan out of the car, Rody Knowles.
Fangadan gets the call. Fangadan goes through.
So, Fanga, the exciting thing is you guys have both been driving for 20 years, and that's the first time you've met in battle.
Yeah, I find that real hard to believe, eh? Like, you know, we've done a lot of practice in the early days, I guess. But yeah, that was, I think we had the car a little bit too tight in the first run there. Second one, I had to blow the tyres off a little bit and run right through to the end, and I was like, it's a horrible position to be in because you know that these cars have got so much lock that, you know, you pretty much just about can't spin them out, but when you run out of tyres like Rody did there...
we'll see you back out, mate. We'll see you. Rody, mate, looks like you just cooked it at the end.
Oh, just ran out of tyres, just last zone, just no one home, and just was up over the hill.
Another metre, and it would have been the best run out.
Yeah, oh mate, it was awesome in the cars. Cool to have this battle, and I'm gonna run it back at Mount Smart and get one.
Thanks, mate.
It's a tyre dig. Tyre dig had it for Rody.
Right, so Jordan Joyce got some work to do here, having caused that initial contact with Jeff Jones. So he's going to try and force a mistake from the JDM pilot for the weekend. Jeff Jones out of California. Jordan Joyce hanging with him in the chase position, doing nothing wrong here, trying not to shortcut down the track. Jordan Joyce maintaining proximity, and Jeff Jones gets up the track there just to the outside, and then a little bit of a distance created there towards the end there. Nothing wrong with either of those runs there, Kenny, but a massive disadvantage from pass number one for Jordan Joyce.
Of course, they are in the OMT, aren't they? So it's sudden death.
Yes, I believe they are.
So the judges will have to make a decision.
So we haven't even
now,
got
how
to the
far
other
up
side.
the A-pillar was Jordan off the entry, though? He certainly maintained the pocket, though, all the way around. Gave him just a fraction to get through in transition, and then get back on that line, trying to approach that door. Big surge at the end to catch back up. Now, was that a wheel off for JDM car? Is he out of the
I think he would have been out of the section by the time it got to that point. The cone obviously denotes the end of the drift judge zone. And as we just saw, you do need to maintain control of your vehicle through that zone.
The chalk boxes have seemed to have held up so far.
Yeah, we had massive issues with it. Maybe it's a different colour. NZKW, thank you so much for your support, and I want to send a shout out to NZKW now in Australia as well. Mike Squire's Customs now over there operating up on the Gold Coast for NZKW. You can check them out at nzkw.com.au.
2JZ versus the turbocharged V8. Who's going to take the victory, Jordan Joyce or Jeff Jones?
So we'll try and, as we are being requested to show a tree, we'll try and show you a tree once we get locked into our top 8.
Off, off, off.
And there we go. Jeff Jones gets the call after Jordan Joyce's rather spectacular exit stage left.
Jeff, that was a little bit of stock car racing out there, mate.
Oh, that was a little bit insane. You know, we were having some fun with it. Unfortunately, he had some trouble on the entry, spun out in front of me. I was glad I was able to stop it in time before some more damage happened there.
You had nowhere to go, eh?
Literally nowhere to go, but hey, wasn't too bad of damage. We're both back out here. Got to give it one more lap and have some fun at D1 New Zealand.
Well, we'll see you back out in the top 8, mate.
Alrighty, so we're trying to
yeah,
make our
Jordan,
way
that
through.
was a bit of impact there, bro.
Yeah, just a bit of loose gravel and stuff on the road. It's going a little bit harder. One of the best in the world, like to be the best, you got to drive with the best. And this year, everyone's bringing it on. So I'd like to big shout out to NZK for jumping on this year. All our sponsors and the team to get us here.
We cannot wait to see you back out at your home track in Auckland in just a few weeks' time.
Yeah, if you're in Auckland on the 7th and 8th of March, come through and check it out. It's a good show.
We've been being asked where the man is by the Fink Army, and here he is, Luke Fink. Luke Fink & Co. all the way out of Australia, going global with an FD campaign this season. Thanks to JDM Racing, here he is battling head-to-head with Hawke's Bay's Adam Whitehead, the 700 horsepower Plan B, Pertec, Sylvia, and a little waiver in the chase position from Adam Whitehead as Luke Fink just doing it and delivering again, Kenny.
Yeah, Adam Whitehead dropping onto that midline to try and hang with him. Take a look here, big flick entry in for the JDM machine. Adam Whitehead in his debut championship season, trying to get into the pocket there. Coming on through this next outside zone.
I don't feel like Fink's pushing it either. Like that's not a full noise Luke Fink run. Like that's a controlled run.
Full noise.
Yeah.
He was definitely filling those zones. It was very controlled through the end there. He's been driving smarter by his own words.
Yeah, we talked about this on yesterday's broadcast where we saw Luke go through to second place, right? Like in past you've seen Luke wild and kind of on the door and doing all sorts of crazy things, and it was kind of like, oh well, whatever happens, happens. But it feels like he's really here to try and win this weekend, and he wants to set the JDM Racing team up for the best possible result.
Although I don't think that went well for him on the first qualifying session.
Yeah.
Qualifying session of the season, and he was well down the order.
Yeah, well, I mean, with Luke as well, I don't know if he's here the whole season because of his other commitments.
No, because of Formula Drift. So it'll be super interesting to see what events he is able to make. And of course, that means that there's an extra car available out of the JDM garage while he's away. Who else is going to join us at Bay Park? I've heard some interesting rumours.
I've seen the.
I have to be tight-lipped for now.
I've seen the leaked list that I was not allowed to publish in the news section. So let's see what Adam Whitehead has here for a lead run. We know that Luke Fink will be there or thereabouts in the chase run, just because he always is. He is just Luke, and Adam needs to be very careful not to knock over a cone, as we've been talking about throughout the duration of the broadcast. Hitting a cone and knocking one over is a instant zero. Here comes Mr. Fink on the... Fink surging up. And he's had to check up there. I think that is the lead driver's fault there. Luke Fink was surging up towards the door and then had to get out of that to stop himself making contact. And you see the little look out the window there from Adam Whitehead. He heard Luke Fink coming.
Now, I think there is a 150 horse difference between the two. I think Luke's
Luke's about 1,000.
Probably got
the
so probably a couple hundred extra horsepower for Luke Fink. So in terms of car speed and available car speed with the tyre choices as well, except I think both of them on the GT.
Okay. All right. So we are receiving some information that Luke is expected to be here the whole season. I'm not sure if that's been 100% confirmed yet.
That's some late nights flying.
Yeah, I thought he himself had sort of said that he wasn't sure of his full schedule, but hey, somebody else might know better than we do. So
big flame out the back of the car at the end of the section there. Adam Whitehead in the Pertec S14.
I like that one. No fluke, it's Luke. That flows. We've been very Dr. Susie today.
I think it wasn't so much a checkup that Luke was having to deal with. He was a bit shallow, and that just shot him up with that car speed, and then he corrected it. So there might not be too much in that.
Yeah, or it could be a reoccurrence of, he talked about earlier today the car I think was overheating and hitting cuts as well, maybe impacting the performance of it slightly and it doing different things. So maybe it's got the same throttle input, but then it suddenly finds a bit more power and it changes what the car's doing. Don't think there'd be too much surprise there if Luke Fink was to get the win, but equally I'm kind of I'd love to see Adam Whitehead get a bit of a result after his number 2 qualifying performance yesterday, but we will wait for a call to be presented. Straight away we go to Luke Fink, so Fink goes through, Luke Fink goes through into the top 8.
We'll get you on the next one. He's just falling out the car. Adam, mate, you're getting out there, you're getting it done. Tough competitor to be up against, eh?
Oh, mate, you know, the stature of the man, you know, so, no, I just tried to lay down everything that I had. I gave everything I had, and I think both chase and lead were really good, and it was just all around for battle for both of us, I think. Yeah.
Okay, mate. We'll see you back out there, Mount Spartan, in a few weeks' time.
Oh, 100%, bring it on.
Now this will be Ben Hodges, Michael Thorley in their top 16 matchup. A fair bit of wavering there out the lead for Ben Hodges. Not his usual car. He had some trouble in his S15 earlier in the weekend, blowing 3rd gear, and then they had to shorten the diff ratio up.
Right, so I'm just trying to work out how that schedule is going to land. It won't be doesn't look like it'll be Formula Drift that will keep Luke away, so unless he's got other stuff going on exhibition-wise. Maybe he is here for the whole season. So Michael Thorley in the chase position, and again I'm going to mention that Mike did ask us to look for a sponsor for Kim. He would like to see his wife drift at Manfield, so if you're out there and you want to get behind one of the real female drift superstars in New Zealand, Kim Thorley from Drift Mama is looking for a sponsor for round 4 at Manfield. As we look at the JDM machine being piloted by Ben Hodges. Now, Mike's got checked up there, hasn't he?
Well, he's certainly not afraid of getting right up on it. And Ben Hodges just battling an unfamiliar car. I think he was well off that second outer zone.
It's
and in
weird.
fact, he hasn't really been filling any of the zones that well.
Oh, it's weird to think we're still in the top 16, Kitty. Still got quite a lot here to go on a time certain broadcast. So we haven't even locked out our 16 yet to go into the 8. Ben Hodges, Michael Thorley still to go. Brody
To
Marr.
go on the 16.
Yeah, Brody
so
Marr.
I think
Jimmy
as
Slim.
long as we don't get an OMT, I think we should be all right. Once we make that top 8, it does sort of advance pretty quick into the semi-finals. Although, touch wood, we have seen some contact already, and any of those recovery times will push us over the limit.
What's the current score between Dave Stedman and Daniel Woolhouse? It must be running pretty close these days. All right, Ben Hodges in a very unfamiliar car now, driving the barn fine, trying to chase down Michael Thorley for NZ. Out the front with the I Am Hope livery on the front, and yeah, I think that 32 has seen better days. It was on song yesterday, she just kept going and going and going, like the Energizer Bunny, but today it is just running on 4, it's on 5, it's just all over the place. And I think that might be all she wrote for Ben Hodges, just with that distance created there by Michael Thorley.
It's a good effort there from Michael Thorley in the NZ 180SX, former Pro Sport champion as well. Up against one of our Aussie internationals. Ben Hodges would have loved to have been behind the wheel of his own car, though.
He had some, well, they replaced the gearbox, didn't they? They had issues overnight on Friday, replaced the 3rd gear in the TTI, but then I think it failed again, and they ended up having to make that diff change that we talked about mid-battle, Kenny, which I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that before. Qualify a minute and change a ratio mid-battle.
Another look at the entry here for Michael Thorley, trying to link those two outside zones together. Fair bit of front-end bounce of the R32 as it was going through that transition as well. Michael Thorley just doing a clean cut lap out in front though. And I think he'll be enjoying a potential victory there.
What's Mike Thorley's best result? Has he been on the podium? He has, hasn't he? D1 Pro.
Yes, I think he's had.
I know he's a Pro Sport champion.
Podiums in the Pro Series.
I'd say maybe
actually, I think
Manfield?
it might have even been Manfield.
Manfield?
Yeah, maybe Manfield.
He's got it tough though, hasn't he? On this side of the draw, there's a lot of talent still to come. Brody Mayer, who won yesterday, Jeremy Slemmett, Connor Halligan, Dan Caldwell
So
still
the
there.
Brody Mayer and Jeremy Slemmett battle is one that I'm sort of looking forward to at the moment. You got the talent of Jeremy Slemmett, but then you got this wild driving rocket ship thing that has took the win yesterday.
Rips up and goes.
Yeah.
So what that will mean, right, is that as the higher qualifier, Brody Mayer will just throw it off the line and try and say, come and get me. It'll be like the Roadrunner Coyote thing with Jeremy Slemmett. Here we go, here's the decision.
Mike, I heard a rumour about Manfield and a certain Drift Mama.
I'll turn the car off for this one. So if Drift Mama can get some sponsorship to get some entry fee, she'll be at Manfield doing Pro Sport.
Wicked, mate. That sounds fantastic.
Straight into action, thick and fast here with our time certain finish. I think Race Control are trying to claw back track time, so we're straight into the battle here with Brody Mayer and Jeremy Slemmett, the JDM Racing Mark IV Supra. Both of them dancing with that outer zone.
Now, I think Mayer's led Jeremy Slemmett up off the track there. We saw Brody Mayer yesterday having problems with, Fanger talked about it, he blew the tyres off, and with 1,000 horsepower in the SR Plenty, 2.4 litre with about 45 pounds worth of boost being rammed through it, Brody Mayer may be having some trouble here just keeping the car in the right zones that he wants it to be in.
This is the spicy battle that I was hoping to see, and it certainly served up some spice just here through the midsection. Both of them right out wide on that outer zone. In fact, probably a little bit too early. Is that 3 wheels off for the chase car?
Well, but how has he ended up there, I guess is the question, right? That would be...
Bumper flying apart. There's bits of it flying up the back end of the car. We'll take another look at it here. Jeremy Slemmett getting right to the pocket, right off the start.
Brody carried that a long way round that corner, a lot further than anyone else has.
He was very conservative on the angle.
So I think that's Brody Mayer leading Jeremy up the track. I think Jeremy's using him as a mobile clip. And then Jeremy's had a wash there at the end, so that would be my 2 cents worth for whatever that's worth in terms of commentary perspective.
I don't think you've got one completely wrong yet. So let's start. We've got a fresh season.
Don't say things like that. Any call you make, right? The thing is that there are 99 people that think you're an idiot, one that thinks you're right. That's usually how it goes. That's why I will never ever be a drift judge again. Such a unique tone, isn't it? Brody Mayer's exhaust sound. Mars Race Shop from Tasmania. All of the wiring, fabrication, everything taken care of by Brody and locals over there, and then the car shipped across here. It swapped places, didn't it, with his newly acquired RX-7, formerly known as Leroy, run by the D1NZ Templeman Motorsport team. A get well soon to D1NZ Templeman, by the way, who we saw break his finger yesterday in an off-road race. I don't think he stopped.
I think
but
he patched up and still
just
kept
patched
going.
it up, yeah.
I think his old man had a good result too. I think he finished third or something.
Ken.
So Jeremy Slemmett in the JZA AT2JZ, 800 horse up against the 1200 horse of the Drift League S13.
So what about delay here? What's the delay? Are they
I'd say the judges will be, they'll be clean up, but the judges will be checking out just what happened down the midsection with those guys. So remains to be seen though what's going to happen here with Jeremy Slemmett now going to lead out Brody Mayer. Look at the ride height of both of these cars.
I love listening to that SR20 wind up. It's just a sound unlike anything else. It's like the sound of a million angry bees trapped in a barrel.
Both of them getting that front end lean on, almost popping a wheel, three-wheeling it through the start of the section. A little waiver there for the JDM machine.
Nice run by both drivers. Very clean, very tidy. Nothing spectacularly wrong, nothing spectacularly standing out either. Just a good, clean run from both. It's probably what you'd like. This is the run I reckon you almost expect. Apart from that part, there was a little bit messy there. This is probably what you expect of most of the pro battles. that's the run you kind of think you're going to see. Unfortunately, we've just been a little bit untidy today with changing track conditions, with horsepower, with tyres blowing off, and all the other variable factors that go on. But no doubt the judges will have their work cut out for them.
This layout was always going to serve up this, so we kind of expected things were going to get spicy today.
I'm still of the opinion too that there's going to be a real challenge at Manfield with all of these tyres. I can't see how with that big, long, high-speed entry to stopping down into that middle dipper section and then out through that hairpin. Yeah, I just cannot see how some of these guys are going to make these tyres last. Brody Marr is going to be one of those, I think, he's going to struggle with that Tri-Ace tyre. I think Fanger's going to have the same problem. Although Fanger has run that tyre before, hasn't he, at Manfield? So he will have at least a knowledge of what the setup needs to be.
Now something has happened to JDM Racing.
It's come to a halt, and then is Bruce and the team looking under it?
Yeah, I think I heard over race radio that there was smoke coming out of the car after the run, so not tyre smoke, but something else.
Like a blue kind of oily sort of smoke? That's not ideal.
It's been a big mission weekend for Jeremy Slamet.
Oh, now hang on. Why are we going back to this
They changed the motor the other night, didn't they? Overnight. So
this is Fink and Adam Whitehead. So why are we
this is a judge's inquiry.
Okay.
And so we're just re-watching this one here. So this is, Fink and...
So that must be an inquiry. So that's probably what it's for. So that's an inquiry, I would imagine, from Adam Whitehead's team because Luke went through. So it's only going to be Adam Whitehead who's asked the question. Lead for lead, chase for chase.
Judges certainly be very, very, very busy this weekend. 4 competitions across 2 days. We're one of the very few series to run 2 competitions back to back in one day. It's a lot of battles.
I'd say that I think that's really, really close. I can almost understand
but in relationship to lead for lead, chase for chase. I guess there'll be some clarity given in that review.
So, looking at it again.
Well, it's a wide out from that camera angle.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the only possible outcome is it won't be overturned. It might go one more time again. He's going to run over that strop, just about. Let's come.
So, looks like he's got a bit of a problem with his car, but he has actually taken the win out there, Brody.
Yeah, no, Jeremy. Yeah, it drove really well. Yeah, the track changes a lot here at Taupo. I'm just learning. And yeah, I just cooked it a little bit into turn 2, and I reckon that probably was the difference. He was struggling a bit. There was oil and shit coming out of his car everywhere, but I just stayed in anyway because that's what I'm all about. So, soaked him for getting the win. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, and yeah, takes all the way.
We'll see you back in a couple of weeks' time at Mount Smart.
Yeah, absolutely.
First look at Connor Halligan for the afternoon, the local man from here in Taupo. Let's see if he's got this car dialed and sort of getting, because we saw yesterday he had a few challenges just due to being a fresh build, but he hadn't done a lot of driving, and it looks pretty sorted and solid so far with not a lot of fight back so far from Dan Coldwell.
I think Halligan over the season, when they really get settled with that car, it's going to be an absolute weapon. You know, they were sort of shaking down the car this weekend on Friday and trying to get comfortable with it. He was battling the front end of it on day 2, wasn't he? So, interesting to see Connor Halligan, who's done a lot of laps around here, of course. And he was sort of one of the top picks, actually, heading into the event.
Yeah, so I've done some sort of behind-the-scenes stuff and asked everybody and said, well, look, if it's not you who wins D1 Pro this year, who is it? And Connor Halligan is certainly the name on a lot of people's lips, along with Fanger Dan, once he kind of emerged out of the woodwork again, is obviously a real threat. Team DSR boys, Jordan Joyce, Sean Potros as well.
I was just looking at the replay there of Dan Cornwell in the chase run.
What's Jeremy looking at here?
His chase run was just all over the place off the entry.
So okay, so I'm here with Jeremy, and he has taken the win, but there might be some challenge with the motor now.
Yeah, well, obviously, first of all, I'm really happy for the win. But yeah, straight when I got to the finish line, it just blew heaps of smoke, and I just decided to shut it down and get it towed to the pit so at least we can figure out what's going on.
Yeah, hopefully it's not 2 motors in 2 days, mate.
I hope so. Yeah, no, I don't want that, but yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll get you back to the pits, get you sorted, and hopefully we can get you back out there again.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a hard luck story. I mean, the highs and lows of drifting, right? He's had some great runs, some great battles, but then dramas with the car as well. They changed the motor overnight. It was a late one.
Did they change it, or did they rebuild the same one and put it back in? We don't know. I'm not too sure. So that's what 1200 horsepower does with Dan Caldwell out the front there. You see it just banging and baking, and it just turns those tyres to smoke straight away. Connor Halligan playing it smart here, I think, but then closes right up onto Daniel Caldwell.
Connor Halligan, I think, running the Zig Nova up against the Tri-Ace out the lead. Closing the door on the VIP.
That's more like it from Connor Halligan. That's the runs we sort of started to... We were expecting that after his form last season. We saw him have so many close battles with Case PB in particular.
So it's the grip level change now too, right? We've got a bit of a wind pickup. We had some heat in the track over the last couple of days.
Yep.
And, you know, sort of around this time of the day, heading towards 4 o'clock, you start getting some temp roll-off out there on the track. So I wonder what the teams are doing, keeping an eye on some of these pro class runs out at the moment. Connor Halligan, certainly, the car just looks so good with that new livery.
So an answer to your question that has been received about the inquiry process, yes, there is a cash cost and a process that must be followed in order to lodge an official inquiry. And you have a 10-minute period from when a result is considered as being announced to make that request for an inquiry. So Kenny mentioned earlier, all of the rules are available via the Motorsport New Zealand website, both the series rules and the supplementary articles. So if you would like to make yourself familiar with those, you can go to the Motorsport New Zealand website and read all of those so that you are up to speed with all of the information and insight that you need to engage in robust conversation here as we watch D1NZ's round number 2 for the 2025 season.
Adam Davies and Jeff Jones in the top 8. Dave Steedman and Dan Moorhouse will match up the vet battle.
Well, there we go. OMT, and it is Connor Halligan getting the call. So an OMT and 2 for Connor Halligan as they go straight through. We are just trying to catch up some time here.
So Connor Halligan takes the win over Dan Caldwell. So he'll line up against Jeremy Slammett, and we've got Luke Fink and Michael Thorley as well.
Oh, that's feeling a bit more like how we want at home, mate.
Honestly, we're battling this car all weekend so far. Even this morning, we had 2 pretty major issues right up until like battles. We got 2 laps in. So yeah, it's sick to get through it.
So it's great. We're into the top 8. We'll get out there and send it. Do you know who you've got?
Yeah, got Brody in the same shed. So.
No, well, actually, Brody got knocked out by Jeremy. And Jeremy's, they've got some mechanical they've got to attend to, so we'll have to stand by on that one.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll see how we go.
Oh, well, been a tough day at the office again, mate, but car's looking good. You're getting out there, getting some time.
Yeah, mate, that's right. No, I'm just having a bit of fun, and head off to old Colin. He's a super awesome driver. It's cool battling these sorts of people, sort of thing. So it is what it is.
Yeah, look, Connor's home track, and he's also been battling gremlins, but he obviously has had some seat time here, and it shows.
Absolutely, yeah. But no, it's been good.
Well, we'll see you again in a few weeks in Mount Smart.
We'll do. Cheers, buddy.
Dan Caldwell out of the VIP drift team. If you haven't checked out the Drifting in a Steelyard video, go check it out on the YouTube channel. If you're looking for something different, these guys drifting through their wood yard and their the frames and trusses yard and the VIP Steelyard in Christchurch. A bit of fun put together in the lead up to the season. Of course, it's great having the South Island drivers making their way. It's a big ask for those guys to put those cars together and compete and head to the North Island. They haven't done many laps on the North Island tracks as well, so it's great to see those guys in the Pro Championship. And here is your battle tree as it stands currently heading into the top 8. Adam Davies will take on Jeff Jones with Dave Steedman up against Dan Woolhouse.
Luke Fink will take on Mike Thorley, and Jeremy Slammett will take on Connor Halligan. You'll see the names to the left of those who have been knocked out, and we are getting ready for the Mimico top 4. That was your Drift Japan top 8s. And here is the leaderboard after the top 16, and this is provisional, of course. It's not final. We'll have to wait for the see how the leaderboard looks after the podium. But Brody Maher, 152 points already. Well, of course, the round win yesterday, but now
he's gone,
knocked out.
right?
Luke
So-
Fink in P2, Dave Steedman, best of the Kiwis, in third for the
Still
championship
there.
title.
Daniel Woolhouse still there. Sam West out. Jeff Jones is still in.
So we're down here with Ben Odgers. Ben, we didn't get a chance to have a quick chat after your battle, but drama unfolded. Let us all know.
Yeah, so it's been a fantastic weekend here in Taupo, but unfortunately with the car, it's just been drama after drama. So yesterday we lost third gear, we ran the car in fourth, managed to make it work. We did a gear change this morning, so we'd be in 1-2 and just have a 2-speed. We put a 3-0 in the differential, and on entry gave it a big bootful and it blew both the shafts. So unfortunately our car was out. We had to jump into 32. It had some gremlins with James, and it played up with us too. So unfortunately, mechanical woes all weekend.
Yeah, so that's a tough end of the weekend for you guys. But hey, look, there's a lot to play for the rest of the season, and I'm sure that everybody wants that trip with you guys up to Japan.
Yeah, no doubt all the boys are vying for it. Talked to a lot of people in the pits, very excited about what we do in Japan with Drift Japan, and can't wait to actually take some of the boys that I've met now on tour. It'll be great.
We'll look forward to seeing you back with your own car then at Mount Smart in just a few weeks' time.
That's it, not long now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nick Hoyle down there in the pits, doing a fantastic job bringing us all the insights and information as we move forward with the D1NZ National Drifting Championship Round 2 from here at Taupo Motorsport Park. A big thank you to 10 Tools, who are our round sponsor for 1 and 2. Of course, we mentioned Mount Smart quite extensively. Tickets are now on sale for that, and that will sell out, so get those early. And rumours of lots of returning drivers for that round as well. The name on everyone's lips seems to be the PB brothers. Will we see them there, won't we? Will we see the Jenkins boys there? Will we see Jace Brown potentially returning as well? Certainly a lot of FOMO going on from some of the drivers who are not here at rounds 1 and 2. Drifting, not a cheap sport at all to do. I mean, you're budgeting sort of at least 5k a round, and that's as long as you don't break anything or damage anything. So, hey, we want to see drivers back out here putting on a show, and we'd love to see a few new faces back at Mount Smart, upsetting things as well, just to see who is the best of the best, because that's what we want to see here at D1NZ. And of course, the biggest prize ever in D1NZ's history, the Drift Japan Tour, worth $15,000 per journey for pro and pro sport. What a prize. And you can join Benki and Ben Odgers as they experience Japanese culture like you only can, with the right connections and the right people who are hooking you up with those unique Japanese experiences. So Jeff Jones, Adam Davies. I saw Jeff Jones having a real good look over Adam Davies' car. I think Adam referred to it as a 240 in what Jeff would understand is the American terminology of what they got in their domestic market over there. I think it is a 240 SX that they got, rather than the 180 SX that we might know it as. Just hear that pulse there from that Green Brothers rotary engine. Team DSR, Hydrolink, Mimico, NMT Shipping, Napa Auto Parts on board for Adam Davies. Has just gone just after 3:30 here at the venue, aiming for a time certain finish around the 4:30 mark. As we progress through the battles, let's see if Jeff Jones can be the next international to spoil the party. But Adam Davies, the #1 qualifier, looking to throw down. Oh, Jeff Jones has had a big steering input there as he went to initiate into the chase position on Adam Davies. Jeff Jones trying to put the pressure on. He's not lifting, he's not giving an inch. But there's another waver there from Jones. Jones having some problems here. Adam Davies throwing down out front. Jeff Jones doing a good job maintaining proximity, but it has been untidy and there have been a few steering inputs there. And you got to think there it is an initial advantage to Adam Davies. As long as he's hit all those right zones, then the judges, you would think, would give him the advantage, as Jeff Jones had to make a few corrections and inputs there. And almost actually a big understeer there from Jeff Jones as he went into zone number 1. So that will be at least a minor deduction. There's another input there. Little input and a waiver. Got really close there, and then from there I think you would say it's all about catch-up for Jeff Jones as the GT Radio replay plays out. Adam Davies with the universal I'm happy signal, arm out the window, just giving the car a little love tap on the roof. We do love the sound of Adam Davies' rotary machine. Adam Davies, of course, finished in 3rd position on the podium for Mad Mike's Summer Bash, held in December. See what Jeff Jones can do with his lead run, remembering that Jeff, of course, is completely unfamiliar with driving from the right-hand side of the car, so it's a bit like the experience that Fangadan used to describe of when he first got the left-hand drive Mustangs, and just the adjustments he had to make for driving from completely on the wrong side of the car, because it's an unnatural experience. And he did, as he mentioned himself, went to pull the handbrake at one point and banged it into 5th gear, which has made for some interesting challenges for him, and they're just effectively trying to reprogram his muscle memory and let things take over and let it naturally flow and bring his driving talents to the fore. There they go. Adam Davies going to put the pressure on, gives it a little dab of the brake to settle the car down to chase. Jeff Jones has knocked the cone over and he is off track and out adrift. Jeff Jones hits the cone and that will be a 0. The only question is, did Adam in any way push him up the track? I don't think so. But we'll wait for the judges to lock that one in as they come back round. Definitely got to be hard to jump into a car like that and try and get used to just doing everything on completely the opposite sides, particularly if you're a dominant, I guess, right or left-handed. You're either right or left-handed, right? It's just the way of the world. You can't be ambidextrous generally, so you generally have a stronger right or left. But Kenny just joined us back in the box as Jeff Jones has just run off the track, mate. And I'm just wondering whether no, Adam's a long way away from him, so Jeff just takes out the cone.
Yeah,
and
the tail of the tape for Jeff Jones.
Wonder if they potentially have had those heat issues again and the car's hit the cut.
Now, the reason I was taking a breather.
Yes.
The inquiry earlier
right.
between the Luke Fink, Adam White
yes.
battle.
Okay.
Which was, it was set here on the GT Radio replay now. There is a cone.
Right.
That was hit by Luke Fink. There'll be another angle.
Right, so it should have been a 0.
There
it is. There it is. So as was prescribed in the rules, does that mean he's been zeroed out, or
so
are
there's
they
been
going
an
one more
inquiry,
time?
but whether it's actually going to progress further remains to be seen. So that is the update from race control.
Right.
And as I've had a lot of work with the rule books over
yes.
the years and the inquiry process, I just had to go and touch base with that.
Okay. Look, I appreciate you being so involved in so many facets of D1, Kenny.
Well, I'm trying to remove the hats, you see, so
yes.
Try to get back to one hat.
Right. Okay. I appreciate that, my friend.
We've got some great new talent up and down pit lane joining us. So
some washed up old talent. Davies, Davies, and Davies. It is Adam Davies goes through.
Oh, Adam, how you feeling, mate? That was a pretty awesome lead.
Oh yeah, I know I can do better than that, but I just gutted for Jeff.
You can do better than that.
You know, I want to have a good battle with Jeff, and he just washed out into the first corner there. And
if you can do better than that lead, mate, I cannot wait to see it.
I missed a few zones, so I can do better. So it's been awesome to even have Jeff over here to go against, you know, and it's awesome to get the opportunity to do it. So
thanks very much. We'll see you back out there.
I think we're going to hear from Jeff now. What is Jeff's running? Jeff's Jeff's confused. He doesn't know what side of the car he's on.
You're right. That was one hell of a lead, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a great lead. That was one of the best leads I had. It gave me the ability to give a great chase. So sorry I couldn't give it back to you. We just had some understeer up front up there right now, but it's all good, man. I'm glad that I got to like hang out with JDM Racing, come to D1NZ, dude. Like this was amazing. These drivers are awesome. Thank you so much for like a great battle.
Had a bungee jump. You've done some cool stuff.
All the things. I hope I
eating some pies.
Yeah, all the pies. If I can put a bunch of steak pies in my pocket and take them with me, dude, that's the #1 thing for sure right there. But this has been a rad trip. Thank you guys so much.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you out here, mate, and we wish you all the best for the Formula Drift season.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, guys.
How cool is that?
Actually,
I mean, we rave about pies here in New
Kiwi
Zealand.
pie in America is actually a very, very rare, well sought after item over in the States. My brother did some work over in the States quite a few years ago, and they actually managed to source some pies from out of one of the states somewhere. That was a Kiwi guy that was baking over in the States.
Right.
They managed to ship some pies out, and everyone got a taste of them, and they couldn't believe that they weren't eating more of them. So, yeah.
Just because we've just seen him, Adam Davies, his brother Clint is More Pork Barbecue, and they can make it like a brisket and jalapeno and cheese pie that just goes hard.
I always like getting the big platter with everything on it.
Yes.
You know, a bit of everything.
How did we end up back on barbecue again? This is
because it's Sunday.
Cooking with Woz and Kit. Well, that's
Sunday's barbecue.
That's what I'd normally be doing. Throw a little beef short rib on the barbecue. 8
Barbecue,
hours later.
Got a few cold ones.
Yeah.
Feed up, watch the drifting. Yeah.
There's actually nothing better, right? Like I did a lot of this last season. Just throw on a little barbecue, watch some drifting on a Sunday afternoon, just chill out and enjoy, and not have to talk for 7 hours. Try and remain somewhat coherent and not repeat myself and not offend anyone, but sometimes that happens. My apologies if you don't like anything we say. It's just sort of part and parcel of human nature these days. The right to be offended. Just because you're offended, though, doesn't mean you're right. I love that quote, by the way, by Ricky Gervais.
Look at that, Luke.
There's the cone.
So
I want to know what's happening.
So I think the judges may have initially missed it, or maybe the Adam Whitehead team are looking for the clarification on the score on that run, and remains to be seen, because they'll have to make a decision very soon, because
What's after this? Yeah, it's after this battle, yeah.
So Dave Steedman, Dan Woolhouse is your next matchup in the top 8. These guys are fighting for a spot in the semi-finals. Adam Davies is waiting in the wings.
They were also 4 and 5 on season points after round 1. Both of them know what it's like to be on the season podium. Dave hasn't made it to DK yet. Fanger has 4 times. So Dave Steedman will want to get this win here over Fanger Dan. Probably get the monkey off his back a little bit, or get the coyote off his back, so to speak.
Dave Steedman, the higher qualifier, takes the lead in the first lap.
How did Dave create that gap over Fanger? Did he just drive away from him?
See how far off that zone he was. Fanger's tried to stick with him.
Yeah, Fanger's done what the judges then asked for, right? Like, he didn't shortcut anything, and he did try and close up that proximity. So I think it's going to come down to this first corner here. Has Dave come out of this corner early and then just sort of driven away, or has Fanger
really
checked
well
up or
to
something?
slot into the pocket straight off initiation there.
I think his car just looked like it just didn't have the... Maybe you talked about earlier, Kenny, taking grip back out. I wonder if maybe they took too much out or something and just got caught unawares by how fast Dave's car was off the mark.
Dave didn't quite get out to the third outside zone. Let's just have another look. Good through scoring zone 1, out to outside zone 2. Didn't quite fill it. Oh, he did get out there. But he didn't quite fill it deep enough, I don't think. Nonetheless, no major wheel drops that I can see initially.
Yeah. So I'm just chuckling because there's some debate in the online banter about New Zealand versus Australia, and I think maybe some of our American friends might think that we're the same country. And my apologies if I've continued that illusion by claiming Brodie Mayer and Tasmania as part of New Zealand. They are very distinct countries. We are just a little tiny nation down at the bottom of the world, but we do like to think we punch above our weight from a drifting point of view, Kenny. Our drivers certainly have performed at the highest levels on very elite stages. I think D-Mec's probably the next one, isn't it, really? We'd love to have someone go out there. Mike's the only one that's done it so far, but only for the single exhibition round up there in Poland.
Apparently we're not mentioning shrimp enough.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm not going to because I don't like seafood.
Yeah. Prawns.
Yeah.
Big prawns. No, we like crays.
Oh, cone. I saw a cone. Fangadan hit a cone.
Second pass. Fangadan now leading. Fills that outer zone. Out to outside zone 3. Through the midsection now. Dave Steedman shortcuts up on the ripple.
I don't think this is going to matter because I'm sure Fanga hit that cone on initiation and that's going to zero him out. Unless Dave gets a 0, I'm pretty sure on the replay as you watch this, it's that first or second cone. I think Fanga's got up too wide. You'll see it here on the GT Radio replay.
Ooh, yep.
Bang. Two cones, and there it is.
So that might just make things very clear cut for the judges. Dancing with the edge of the track. And this, I was just thinking this before when we were looking at the inquiry. These guys are like, the judges were super clear about trying not to push too hard, right? You know, stay off those white lines. And yet everyone is pushing the limit today.
Well, you have to, right? You're one of 24 in the best of the best in terms of New Zealand drifting who are competing across a 5-round series, and you have to throw everything at it. There is no way that you get to the top step and become a single time, let alone a 4-time DK without pushing the edges, without pushing the boundaries, without taking some risks. Fangadan got it wrong that time. He'll take that away and he'll know he made that mistake. He'll be a bit frustrated. I think you'll probably hear him say that in this interview, and I'm guaranteeing that Dave will be pretty pumped on that one because I know that Dave does like to get one up on Fanga.
I'm getting some drama in the ears.
Okay, right.
Jeremy Slamet's pulled out. He's retired from competition. Connor Halligan will take that spot in the semi-finals. So obviously something mechanical has pulled Jeremy Slamet out, but also we're going to chat to the judges after this battle about that inquiry.
Okay, so this is very dramatic here at D1NZ as we get a result locking in here. Dan Wilhouse, Fangadan, and Dave Steedman, the old dog. George Clooney from Tauranga. Matt Kwok's locked in. Dave Steedman already waiting, and there it is. Dave Steedman. He goes through. Dave Steedman unanimous.
Fanga, from what I saw, mate, a couple of cones on entry on your lead.
Oh, really? Oh, is that what it was? Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't feel like, well, yeah, the boys were telling me I was pushing it pretty close to that, but yeah, no, I think we were both a little bit messy on that first pass, and I was just like, well, I'm just going to stick to a really good lead on my lead, and but yeah, obviously I just nicked those cones, and it's pretty harsh penalties.
Okay, mate, we'll see you back in Mount Smart just about a month's time. Dave, it looks like you and Adam might be heading for the team prize today.
Yeah, not ideal, but hey, beat Fanga twice in a row. Hey, it might have been by regulation. I didn't actually see the cones, and I thought I'd thrown that one away because it wasn't a great chase. But hey, rules are rules, and awesome to see the judges sticking to those. So awesome.
All right, mate, let's get some tyres on this thing, and we'll see you back out soon as.
Oh, yeah.
All right, are we getting
so
controversial now, Kenny?
Yeah, well, Dave Steedman's super excited there, so we're going to head up to the judges' box, and we're going to have a chat with Matt Kwok, who is our lead judge for this weekend.
Okay, Mac.
Hello, boys.
Explain away, my friend.
What do you want to know? What battle are we talking about? There's a bit going on here.
Okay, so I believe we're specifically looking at Adam Whitehead and Luke Fink as a potential inquiry.
I'm going to feed the backs here and go straight to Binky because he's the chase driving judge. So here's a crook ball.
Alrighty, so to explain, I was very clear in the briefing in relation to chase car and the chase car being in the pocket and the chase car having leniency to do things like touch a ripple. You know, you've got to understand if you're that close, and he was not past the B pillar with the front of his car. So I would class that as equal proximity. Luke cannot see beyond the chase car and he cannot see in his peripherals where that cone is on that entrance, yeah?
Yeah.
So in many other positions today, that exact same thing, not so much that cone, but other places where chase drivers have touched ripples, hit cones, there is no penalty because they are following the lead car and they cannot see.
And that is that's pretty consistent with what you guys were doing yesterday as well. Same,
100%.
The same rules applied to yesterday's layout as it did today with the chase car as well. So yeah, I guess that's
all I want, man. All I want is to be consistent, and I told the guys in the briefing this morning, we reiterated it. I've given many updates to what I want, and I was very clear about chase car proximity and leniency towards those things.
So in a bit of a segue from that too, we just saw Fanger Dan put down a really sick lead run, but then it was over, done, because he hit those 2 cones on the entry.
Yeah, I had Fanger for a 99. To be honest, it was a very high lead run, but touching cones is touching cones. So yeah, he zeroes out.
Okay,
There
so
we go. Clear
just
cut decisions.
can I just get a final confirmation there? So the result stands. Luke Fink is through and Adam Whitehead is out. That is correct.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so we move forward now, and it will be Luke Fink versus Michael Thorley, and we've been advised Jeremy Slammett is out, and Connor Halligan goes through into the 4. So we have Adam Davies and Dave Steadman locked in on one side of the tree. We have Luke Fink versus Michael Thorley, and the winner of that goes against Connor Halligan.
So last battle for the last spot in the semi-finals will be Luke Fink and Michael Thorley. Thank you to the judges for
who would be those
clearing that
3?
up for us.
Really, who would want to be those 3 up there? Oh,
Well,
Jeremy
they've had
Slammett. Let's hear from Nick.
Oh, yes.
He's got an update.
Okay, so Jeremy, it is confirmed you are pulling out. Give us some insight.
Yeah, I am pulling out from now. It feels like we're down on 1 cylinder. It seems pretty bad, but I don't want to go too hard into it. So we'll have a look from before next round and see what's going on.
I guess you don't want to pull the head off now and try to make it work and then give yourself a bigger problem for next month.
Well, I went to Power Me Friday night to fix my car. I think I've done enough for it. I just need some rest, some time off, and have a good dig into it and see what's happening.
That's wicked, mate. It's so awesome to have you out here committed to the series.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a very pleasure for me to be here against the best of the world and best of New Zealand. So yeah, no, I'm really happy, and this weekend was a big weekend for me. Yeah.
But it is Chicken's fault, right?
Little bit.
All right, back to you guys for some more action coming up.
That poor chicken got thrown under the bus again. That chicken's been run over so many times.
I can already feel my phone vibrating.
Right, fantastic. So we have 2 DSR cars locked into the final, so that will mean that the Central Wood Recyclers prize for the top performing team for round 2 will be Team DSR. So that means 1 round to Team JDM, 1 round to DSR so far. Thank you, Renee and Central Wood Recyclers for that. Now, somebody just said chuck out the rule about the cones for Mount Smart. Well, we don't have the cones at Mount Smart. We have these dirty big 4-ton concrete barriers, and they grab you and just spit you out. So they kind of take care of themselves.
So how crazy was that though, right? Like, I thought that lead run that Fanger did was pretty high up there.
Yeah.
Matt Quack, the lead judge, says, well, it was pretty much
99,
near on
yeah.
a 99-point run, but it's gone. Just simply because he pushed a little bit too wide on entry.
Yeah, look, I can understand both sides of the argument, and look, at the end of the day, we can debate it till, to use a great Kiwi expression, till the cows come home. But it doesn't matter. The 3 judges, in fact, have spoken. They've locked in the decision. In their minds, they are clear. They all have a universal agreement. And it only matters what happens when A, B, or O. If an A, a B, or an O are locked in, the result is not contestable beyond that. You cannot challenge a judge's decision on anything other than, I think, unsportsmanlike. So I think as long as the judges are happy with it, then the judge's decision stands.
A few people in the Oversteer TV live chat wondering, in terms of, okay, we've got the cone hits here at this layout. What happens when you hit a wall at somewhere like Mount Smart?
Yeah,
well, it's the
sucks you
same
in,
thing.
yeah.
You get the deduction, right?
Yeah.
And you'll either hit the wall and the front end comes around and you zero out, or you get a deduction from the judges for being too far into the wall. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I think there is a difference kind of between the rub. Like you got to use it's terrible to use this explanation, but within reason you got to apply a little bit of common sense, I think, and logic. Anyway, let's watch what's going on here. It is Luke Fink up against Mike Thorley. Michael Thorley campaigning vigorously for a sponsor for. Oh, Mike Thorley! He turns it round. Now, did he tap Luke Fink in order to send himself around? Doesn't really matter. Luke Fink will keep going. Luke Fink needs to complete this run as the lead driver and book himself in a score. Make sure he doesn't get an incomplete. But Mike Thorley looked like he was just trying to be a little bit too aggressive there, and unfortunately played a silly game and paid the price.
GT radial replays. We unpack what happened here.
He hit the wheel. It
was
grabbed
that
the wheel
to
on
wheel?
lock. Yeah, it's wheel on lock to rear wheel.
Which is
sliding up the
hard
track. Yeah.
through like you feel that in the car when you're holding the steering wheel. That would have felt really hard for Michael Thorley in the chase there. Luke Fink kept his foot up it, full send in the lead.
Yeah, I'd almost.
So we're going to have to have a look at that entry again. Here we go.
I wonder if Mike Thorley's actually hurt his hands here too, because that would have ripped his. It would have ripped the steering wheel out of his
He
hands.
was hard on the
quite-
handbrake,
yeah,
so
would have
he
ripped-
was already
yeah.
reacting to it. I think he's just shot in there. But will the judges be looking at the entry speed from Luke Fink through the transition from outer zone 1 to outer zone 2? So
contestable.
We'll take a look at the line.
Opinion based.
Yeah.
All the great.
Well, it's up to the
driftings,
judges
yeah.
to make their score, so that's fine. We're just commentators.
Well, and again, we have the.
It's part of the entertainment value here. That the suspense. A little bit of a handbrake there from Luke Fink, but Thorley did react to that. He was on handbrake too.
Yeah, Luke's on power, and I don't think that Mike is. I don't think he's. Yeah, I don't think Luke's done anything overly. What do you even call that? Uncompetitive?
No.
Ungentlemanly?
No.
Is that even a word?
No,
I might have just made that
I don't
up.
think there was anything untoward.
That's the one. Yeah,
I don't
untoward. That's what I was
think
looking for.
there was anything major in that. I think Michael Thorley's gone in there, tried to commit to that chase run, but perhaps just misjudged the lead car's speed initially.
So let's just see what Luke does, because we've been talking. So Luke, that's a big gap.
Oh,
from
look,
Luke. Yeah,
line.
Thorley's had a big problem there. So he's hit a cone and it's all done.
Crossed up, battling the front end steering.
So Fink is going to be back into the 4, you would imagine, off the back of this. So we'll have Luke Fink and Connor Halligan most likely on one side of the tree, and the two Team DSR boys on the other side.
Great run to finish from both of those boys. I mean, yeah, the cones is the hard luck story, but we knew this coming into this layout. Everyone was aware of it this morning in briefing. We always knew today's layout also was going to be the hardest of the weekend. And there you see the cross up, the lock up in the front.
And whack the cone.
Understeer TV.
Yeah. I don't think that would be as successful, would it, Kenny? Understeer TV.
It might.
It'd be like maybe Apex Hunters with just the
it would be a banter segment.
We could do. Should we do after? We'll do Oversteer after hours with a few sound checks and some who forgots.
Let's
dial that one up during the week.
I'm keen on a sound check at this point of the day, to be honest.
What do you probably got a little bit of like some honey bourbon or something, maybe something nice and sweet that goes with the barbecue.
Just taking a look at some more replays there of Michael Thorley and Luke Fink. Great, sort of 75% of the rest of the run, but as it all come down to that technical aspect of the start, the 2 outer zones at the start of the run have been causing the biggest dramas of the day.
Thank you, Smart Steel Buildings, for sponsoring our recovery crew for the weekend. Thank you, NZKW, for your support as well, Jason and the team, and also now live in Australia, nzkw.com.au. Thank you, Ting Tools, for your support. Thank you, Mimico. Thank you, TTI. Thank you to all of our supporting partners here this weekend as the judge's decision, and it is Fink, and Fink.
Unanimous decision. Luke Fink through to the next round.
Luke, I'm just going to jump in here, mate.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, we're getting somewhere for the day. JDM's looking like they're going to be at the top again. What do you think?
We're giving a red hot go. I didn't lose power steering for once, so that's good. Last run I lost power steering, so we're definitely stressing out, but we're pushing through it. We're doing what we can. I have a mean vibration from the left rear now from that hit, so I need to suss out if that's just the wheel or if it's something else.
2 days is actually, in fact, quite hard on the gear, and the JDM team are struggling with it today.
No, yeah, there's definitely such a thing as too many cars.
All right, mate. We'll see you at the next one.
Alrighty, Kenny, we're getting towards the business end of things. So we're
Mikey.
going to hear from Mike.
Those cones, eh?
Was it the cones? I bent something when I hit him. It felt kind of all right. And then that locket just kind of jammed and pulled me back into the cones. So, I mean, in hindsight, I should have come in and called my 5, but...
Yeah, what happened with the hit there?
I thought he was just going super slow. Maybe I was just too hot and in him, but when we came in, I was on the gas coming around, and I don't know. I'd like to watch the replay.
Hey, look, it's an all right start to the season for you, mate, and it's only not too long to we're at your home track in Auckland.
Yeah, concrete walls are... The 180 SX.
What do you mean you love the concrete?
The car loves it, but the wallet doesn't. So, yeah.
It's just the wallet, eh?
Just the wallet. The wallet sucks. Yeah.
And the missus, the kids, watching from home?
Oh, happy birthday for Thursday, babe. Thanks for letting me come drifting. Hi, Lily. Hi, Lucy. I'll be home tonight.
Very good, mate. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Michael Thorley. Still looking for a sponsor for his wife for Manfield. As the two Team DSR boys go head-to-head. Adam Davies has the lead as the number one qualifier. Dave Steadman, Team DSR it is. Davies, Steadman racing. This 20B is singing out front, the RB32 in the chase position. Both cars emulating nicely. Need a little bit better proximity there from Dave Steadman. You would have thought he would have been closer up there, Kenny, because these guys know each other so well. They do so much driving together. Maybe Adam just having a little bit more speed.
They probably don't want to bend each other's cars like that infamous battle at Manfield one year. Yeah. It's always funny when the teammates go out and end up having a big stack. Not funny for the people paying for the cars.
Great, but it's no, but it's great for us. Great for us.
Entertainment
for us commentators, but
and probably non-stop banter from the two drivers involved. So the teammates out there having a crack at the semi-final. So they're both fighting for a spot in the final.
Yeah, and Adam Davies, of course, will want to go to the top step because potentially sets himself up to lead going out of here. He's third yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, Brody Marr's
gone. Yeah, Brody Marr's gone. Fink's still there, though.
He had the likes. Yeah, so we will update the championship points in a moment. Oh, weather update.
Huh? Weather update.
I don't know how accurate that was, but a weather bug popped up.
Oh, I don't know what the weather bug means, so I'm just going to assume it's some technical feature you've put in here because I'm old. The wind is picking up.
The wind has
picked up. The wind picking up on those flags, the 10 Talks flags, the Linky CU flag.
You know, it's 4 o'clock. You get that track temp roll off.
Dave's had a problem. Dave's had to give that a second kick there. Adam's fallen back, but then did Dave foster momentum by the check-up through the first part? How wide? And then Adam's got wide up there, closing out the final section. I think he's gone off because I didn't see the big puff of dirt, but you'll see here on the replay, Dave went round it, and now Dave had to give this a second kick about here, I think it is. See, the smoke is gone.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's had a moment. He's stalled up. Maybe he didn't get into gear or something. It's stalled on him.
Would he be sitting in the same gear through the duration of that whole corner, or banging another one as he goes through the middle?
Depends on the ratio and the box they run. I don't know if Dave has a sequential.
I thought Dave might be G-Force.
Yeah, is he still running the G-Force?
G-Force four speed?
Could be a 4-speed, which would, yeah. And it would probably be more likely that Adam would have the sequential with the rotor.
Yeah, I think Adam definitely does have the sequential in there because I know other drivers have sort of said like it's the only way you can actually keep a rotary in the power bands. Why Renee Richmond, I think, Mad Mike, etc. have all sort of said the same thing. All right, here is the championship as it stands at the moment. Now this is all basically subject to updating. Brody Marr leads with 152, Luke Fink 128, Dave Steadman 112, Daniel Wilhouse 100, Sam West 90.
So that's after the top 8, so it will change.
So my apologies, it was
with the round win.
Yeah, it was Dave Steadman who was third yesterday, not Adam Davies. Adam Davies was today's number 1 qualifier. So that was what was confusing me a little bit there as we await a result for the two Team DSR boys. I'd love to see a little bit of that. Do you remember the supercar thing where he drove in real close and he couldn't get out of the car? Yeah. I'd love to see the boys do that to each other. That'd be fun.
Dave shaking his head.
Dave looks like he's 400 years old and everything hurts. Dave is 400 years old and everything hurts.
I'll stay out of that.
Oh, Dave's knees just gave out. He's laughing because he can't hear me. Adam Davies gets the win. Adam Davies gets the win. And I
Dave,
think
it looked like maybe your lead, you missed a gear.
Nah, I watched a little bit too wide and couldn't pull it back. I probably hit a cone. If not, I dogged Adam, and yeah, I mean, fair call for sure. Yeah.
I mean, Adam's been completely on today, but look, you're still in the hunt for a podium because you've got the battle for 3rd and 4th.
Oh, exactly. I mean, 2 Team DSR cars up here. You know, still one guaranteed podium. I'm going to be pushing for 3rd, so bring it on.
Adam.
Oh, yeah, I was happy with my lead run, just unfortunate for Dave. He just washed out in the corner there again, and it's so easy to grab a bit of understeer at that corner. You've got to push in, deep into the corner, and it's just one of those things. So it's just annoying we have to do this in the top 4, but it'd be better if it was 1st and 2nd, but anyway, here we are. So
those leads are exactly what you need to do, and one more big battle to go yet, but it looks like you've taken the cash prize this weekend too for the top team.
Oh, right. Oh, that's pretty handy. Yeah. not bad.
That's going on the bar, surely. All right, we are going to now take off to an ad break, and when we come back, these guys are going to turn the cars around, and we will, you can't go back any further, we will have the battle for who's going into the top.
Back here at Taupo Motorsport Park, right at the business end now of round number 2 of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship. Round number 2 brought to you by Teng Tools. Thanks, of course, to NZKW as well, and Link ECU, another one of our brand partners here. A look across the surface at Taupo Motorsport Park, you can see those black lines that have emerged there on the track as the drivers have tried to stick to the prescribed line. 25 degrees with 24 km/h wind gusts. So she's certainly picked up out there, Kenny. She was pretty calm this morning, and that's a good thing. It's probably dissipating a bit of the tyre smoke, meaning that the drivers certainly have that little bit more visibility than they might have if it was just sitting static. Sometimes that's a real problem in those stadium rounds in particular, where the smoke just sits and lingers.
I remember we had, we had that event that we ran in Dunedin, and we had to bring in massive fans to try to clear the stadium out because it has a roof over it. So, yeah, that was a tough one.
It's one of the achievements, really, of D1 over the years, isn't it? All those custom tracks.
One of the first indoor stadium drift events in the world. We've obviously seen the success of Drift Masters over in Europe. What they do over in Poland is crazy. 50,000
and it sells out too, doesn't it?
Packed into a stadium watching live drifting. It's got to be probably one of those once-in-a-lifetime experiences for a lot of people.
Sorry, I just got to grab a little mouthful of water there, Kenny, as the day is slowly winding its way towards an ultimate conclusion here. Fantastic driving. We've already seen our pro sports lock in a result with a fantastic win by young Corbin Wilson, the 16-year-old, the Drift Fox, taking out the pro sport over Curtis Lilly. So good result for Curtis Lilly and his team, his first D1NZ Pro Sport podium. Dean Young, though, hanging around, and I think if we were to actually update the points now for the pro sports, I think. They cut me off because they didn't want to show us the graphic of the pro sport points, Kenny. I think it will be Corbin Wilson who'll be leading the series over Dean Young, because Dean Young, of course, was in 3rd, and we are getting ready to watch Connor Halligan and Luke Fink. I got to be honest, after yesterday, I'd like to see the Aussies locked out of the podium. I think that would be nice. But Mr. Fink, as we've talked about throughout the duration of broadcast, he's definitely here to win.
Welcome back, everyone, to Taupo Motorsport Park. It is round 2 of the D1NZ Pro Championship. On the standard direction layout, which is actually reverse of the layout that we ran yesterday. Doubleheader weekend, 2 lots of round points on offer Saturday and Sunday. It's been a huge weekend of drifting. It started on Friday for us. And here is the Mimico top 4. Who have we got?
Yeah, we've got Adam Davies locked in against Dave Stedman. We've just seen the result of that battle, and it is Adam Davies going through into the final. We're now awaiting the battle between Luke Fink and Connor Halligan to see who is in the final and who battles for 3rd and 4th place. 100 points on offer for the win, 80 points for 2nd, I think 64 for 3rd and 4th place. So very important here. It will make it quite challenging if Luke Fink was to make it to the battle for 1st and 2nd again. Then Luke Fink potentially quite a long way ahead of his fellow contenders, and Luke Fink being the driver that he is. Connor Halligan is right to the inside there, Kenny. Has he put himself in a good position there? Is that going to hurt him at all? Or is he going to be able to carry it through the run? I don't know how the judge is going to view that one. Halligan, though, Connor Halligan right up on the door of the JDM machine, and he has stayed in it, Kenny. A chase for the ages by Connor Halligan as they come around. Definitely make some noise for this one. This is a run and a half. That is a chase that enables the door to be open. Sorry, a lead run that opens the door up for that type of chase. Young Connor Halligan, I thought he'd gone too far.
That's
at the
chase
inside.
run that we've been waiting for to really peg Luke Fink back a notch, because Connor Halligan's finally settled down into the brand new build, and on day 2 here has just put on one hell of a chase run.
I honestly thought he hit him then.
And it almost looks like, from the body work of the body language of the car, there might have been a love tap there. Luke Fink keeps his foot hard up at filling the outer zones. Both of them just putting on an absolute stellar drive. And Connor Halligan, he's going to be stamping his name on the side of that door, perhaps. Gets right in the pocket. You want to see what getting in the pocket is. Connor Halligan just right there.
Okay, so the
millimeter perfect on the transmission, and then right there,
there is a touch.
There's
there is
the
a touch. And the way you can tell that there's a touch is because the inner guard is attached. As they came around the first corner, it starts flapping there. So there definitely has been a light touch there, but it hasn't upset either. So both of them stayed in drift.
Well,
and I don't think
racing.
Yeah, rubbing's racing.
You can touch the lead car as long as you don't upset the line too much. So, wow, we wanted some spice.
How much tyre have they got left now is going to be the question. Is Luke potentially disadvantaged by being in the chase? How much did they use up there? No, these are the things we're going to learn.
After a chase run like that, Luke's the kind of driver that isn't going to sort of let that get away. he's going to go and try and give a return.
Yeah, is Luke going to be Luke and go 150% wild, or there is Lance Hasty with the 1st and 2nd place trophies? Hopefully those ones don't fall on the ground like the other ones did earlier. Right, let's see what happens here. Connor Halligan will accelerate away off the line. Luke Fink will go into the chase position. Both drivers away, nice and clean, nice and smooth. Now Luke will have seen and known what Connor has done, and he's going to try and emulate that. He tries to close up on the door there. There already is a slight little gap there, not much, just a minute difference, but Connor Halligan was just so close in his chase run. Is this enough of a difference for Connor Halligan to hammer home an advantage here? Luke Fink goes to the inside there to try and shortcut some proximity. Luke Fink stays to the outside. That is a good drive from Luke Fink. Now he stayed to what the judges wanted. Luke could have easily made a decision to dive.
I tell you what, Connor Halligan was like about to drive away from him there, and Luke Fink had to do some smart driving towards the end of the section. You'll see it on his last transition how he massaged it out, but we'll take a look at the GT radio replay. Both of them out to that outer zone. Look at this transition here from Connor Halligan, really stacks it on, firing through. Now here you'll see the launch from Luke Fink trying to play catch up on that inner line. Both of them get to that second to last outer clip, but it was that massaging, that little waver, that little hesitation just to try and lengthen the transition, because Connor Halligan has really put on a good lead here.
Yeah, there's a small movement there from Connor in his lead run, but then there is a small movement as well from Luke in his chase. You'll see it, I think it's out of zone 4, just coming around here. Just as he goes through here, see there's just a little, like it's really minute.
And then this one here, it was like it's just a very small, subtle thing, but it was enough to keep him in the pocket.
All right.
So
let us know who you guys think won. Now, Luke, where's Luke gone? Is he gone straight back to the pits?
So it's going to be the local hometown hero. Is it going to be Connor Halligan putting it on for Taupo, or is it going to be the Australian international Luke Fink getting through into the final? I'll tell you what, I'd love to see an all-Kiwi final after the Aussie final yesterday.
Yeah, they did pull the pants down and give us a bit of a spanking yesterday, and they let us know as well via social media and their fans online, which is what this is all about. The sport needs characters. It needs drivers like Fink. It needs Jeff Jones. It needs Connor Halligan. So
a big smile
having
on
a look at
Connor's
replays
face
again.
as he pulled into the pits there.
I sort of do tend to agree with maybe the mindset that this would be one of those battles where sometimes you might see that one more time.
Yeah.
Because Connor Halligan's chase was so close, but then who had the better lead run? I don't know. One might outweigh the other, and then style for style.
Yeah. If we're splitting it by hairs, I'd say there's just two very subtle things that Luke Fink did in his chase that would be the difference. Otherwise, I'd call an OMT. But I'm not a judge. Just offering my opinion for the entertainment.
Yeah, I think the style judge will probably call that even, but we'll wait. Now, Luke doing what he's doing there and showing his respect is a great thing for a young driver too. We really appreciate that. As we do look at the GT Radio replay one more time, I think the judges probably are still looking at their replays, is my guess, based on the fact that we keep seeing this footage over and over again. And the longer this goes for, the more I think we might see that OMT, Kenny. Of course, Adam Davies sitting ready and waiting for his final opponent, and Dave Steadman sits ready and waiting to go for third and fourth place.
Proximity and emulation to the lead car. Connor Halligan bringing it to the table, or has Luke Fink done enough in his chase run?
Well, we'll
take a look at it here.
So many different perspectives on things, right? And the judges have the benefit of their own replay system. Oh, here we go.
Boys, for me, had to be the battle of the weekend so far. How did you feel at that, Connor?
Yeah, well, I knew I had to throw everything at it. Minimal practice, new car. I was like, I'm just going to have to send it, so that's what I did. I was pretty happy with the chase. Obviously, a little bit of contact, but stoked, to be honest, with everything that's happened. So.
And Luke, the car was vibrating. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I guess that contact in the battle just before has done something to the rear. I knew about it going into the second run of that battle, but then it got really bad to the point where I'm actually losing vision inside the car. Like, it's vibrating me so crazy. That's why I went and dumped the car and said, boys, please fix it. I can't drive it like that.
Luke Fink gets the win. Luke Fink gets the win.
2-1.
Sorry about that.
It was a 2-1. We had one judge in favour of Connor Halligan, and we had two in favour of Luke.
Well, guys, we'll turn them back around. Battling for 3 and 4, battling for 1 and 2. Well done.
Well, there you have it. Like, we're talking about splitting hairs. I mean, there must have been very minute decision-making there from the judges.
Well, I wonder
and it would be great to get up to the judges' box and just go over that, because that was one spicy battle.
But there's obviously some differences of opinion there, Kenny, because we had one judge clearly call in favour of Connor, and then the other two in favour of Luke. So
yeah, great.
There's obviously,
I mean, it was an awesome battle.
Yeah.
It was just a fantastic battle. It's what we want to see. We'll have a chat to the judges. We've got Tony Gallagher there.
Lads, what's going on?
Oh, we want to know what's going on. Are you guys going to fight each other or what? I mean, that was pretty close. Luke Fink has delivered, I think, both the worst battle of the weekend yesterday in the final and probably the best one as well today with Connor Halligan.
Yeah, that was a super tough one to call. I'm seeing Connor get control of that car again, which was he was struggling with a little bit yesterday, and it's good to see him where he's at now. But yeah, from my perspective, from a style judge perspective, he just Luke was a bit smoother through the first arc for starters. Connor just had a little bit of a bobble in behind him as well on the way sort of down the hill. So yeah, that's the little difference there for me. I think Benkai's actually probably got a couple as well.
So for myself, look, Connor's chase was sick. However, for what we asked for, there was lots of bobbles and wavers. There was contact. Contact's quite a big thing. And there was basically what could have been a straighten completely. However, because of the proximity and the reinitiation being so quick, I gave Connor the benefit of the doubt. But even with that, there's quite a big deduction for the contact. So, in my eyes, it's not as good of a chase as to what I asked for in the briefing as what Luke put down.
Okay.
Okay, so you're quite harsher on that hit through the midsection then.
Oh, 100%. Okay. No contact. That's
okay.
you should not. Rubbing's racing, but that's a touch. That was a bang.
You could see the It did
upset the car.
Yeah,
So,
fair enough. And I think Luke actually did a better job of filling that second outside zone as well.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. And it's also there was control shown there, and there was also smoothness. Yeah, Connor's run had a lot of jolty back and forth, which is what I said I didn't want.
And it was great aggression, great entertainment. It was a close battle.
Honestly,
but
sick chase. It was sick, but it wasn't what we asked for.
Yeah.
All right,
very good.
Thank you,
great,
boys.
Great to hear from our judges up in the box.
Oh, we appreciate you three being in the firing line and not us, because we can say whatever we want, and you guys have to make the decision. So there it is, the big defining factor there, that contact. Kenny, you picked it up the first time through. I missed it and didn't see it till the second time when that guard had come loose. And there we go, the judges calling harshly on contact effectively. We did talk to rubbing as racing, and I think that will be defined different ways by different people, right? Like, in Tony Gallagher's world, rubbing as racing is smashing your opponent straight up the wall.
Yeah.
Whereas
it was
a light little rub.
and that's the thing in the rule book. It's about you can't disrupt the lead car, and we definitely
Luke's
did.
just come
the
out
only way
to give
we
us a
knew
little
that there was
update on
contact
what it
because
is
of the
that's
lead
causing
car.
the... Oh, hang on. Okay, so Luke's popped out here. He's got a little bit of an update on the car. There is a vibration, but they seem to have figured out what it is.
Yeah, obviously I'm the useless one over there. They don't want me working on a car, but we've bent the tail shaft. So the hit's obviously jacked up the rear of the car on the contact, and then I guess throughout that run with clutch kicks and everything else, it's getting worse. Like, I'm still going to send it, but...
Has it got one more battle?
We'll find out in a sec, hey. Guess we'll just have safety and fire on ready.
Just get out there and send it, Luke.
Well, I'm not going to give up, am I? And we can't change a tail shaft yoke, so it's send it or park it up, and we don't want to finish the day like that.
Yeah, cool. Well, we can't wait to see you out there.
Alrighty, there we go. So it's probably actually the better outcome, right? If Luke is struggling now, the car's, I mean, he's got one more battle in it, right?
Yeah.
It's got one more battle in it. Is it going to hold together? Who is the higher qualifier? Is it Luke or is it Adam? So Adam is on for a 1-1. Adam is on for a 1-1, and I have seen him do it here at Taupo before. It wasn't the other car, the 13B. He has qualified number 1, and he has finished number 1 and passed. His opponent, the roadblock, is going to be Luke Fink. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Connor Halligan will come back. He will go head-to-head with Dave Steadman for 3rd and 4th place. All 4 of these guys will lock in some pretty solid points. That'll see Dave Steadman certainly up the table. Luke Fink he's getting a minimum of 80 points. He was on 80 as of yesterday, so he's now on 160. So he's past Brody Marr.
Yeah.
Adam Davies was on, where was he? He was about 56-ish, so if he was 2nd place, he's going to go to 120. So Adam Davies is up there now, 2nd, 3rd, 4th sort of bracket. There's a lot of guys who are going to be really, really close now on points.
So Adam Davies, Luke Fink are going to be through to the final. We're just watching some highlights here of the day's events. We also had that tyre change, that D-bead.
Well, I think we might have just...
the VIP drift team.
I think we might have just found Keske too. He's been asked for a lot.
Oh, he's logged in.
He's logged in and he's making comments. So Keske, people want to know where you are and why you're not competing this season. So if you did want to offer your opinion on that, that would be much appreciated. I'd love the fact that there are people just debating everything, because this is kind of what the sport needs. It needs the opinion, it needs the passion. You just got to keep it respectful, right? Don't make it personal. No one's an idiot or whatever else just because you don't agree with them. I mean, just because you don't agree with something doesn't mean it's not right or wrong, whatever. So, hey, have some fun in the chat.
There was the other big drama of the day in the highlights there, as we see Connor Halligan in the pits servicing the car. Jordan Joyce, Jeff Jones. Jeff Jones actually tagging the rear of the car to keep him off that tyre bundle. Jeff Jones in the lead there with the Pertec machine.
Yeah, it was the Pertec machine. It was Adam Whitehead. That was the Fink Whitehead battle that was contentious. Yeah, that we had the
so we had an inquiry about that, and as it turned out, there was a cone for the chase car that was hit, but under the rules and under the briefing layout this morning from the guys, they overturned that inquiry.
Okay. So just checking out the highlights of round 2 as we progress to the 3rd and 4th place battles here for the Team Tool sponsored round number 2 of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship. Of course, the drivers trying to lock in as many points as possible for the Drift Tours Japan prize, valued at $15,000 per person, and that is for our Pro Sport and Pro winner respectively. It is the biggest prize ever given away in D1NZ, and that is that Jeremy Slammett, I think, there, who has hurt that engine again after repairing it overnight. As we check out the highlights here, and we're sort of getting to the pointy end of things there with Jeff Jones, Adam Davies.
Dave Steedman, Fanga Dan, that was a great little match up there for the two veterans. Although I think Dave's got more in him, eh?
Yeah, you got to. I got a cheer for my fellow senior citizen. Dave's a fellow greyhead, president of the Grey Power chapter of Tauranga. May or may not be actually accurate. Might have just made that up. But anyway, we do hope you've enjoyed the call here live on Oversteer TV. Those of you who are subscribers are participating in the chat. Welcome, of course, to our viewers on Sky Sport, on KO, on Foxtel, and on Pacific Direct.
Of course, if you are in the Oversteer TV live chat, do keep it kosher. There are friends and family and kids tuning in, so whatever you type there is public, and at the end of the day, you'll just get timed out by the admin or booted off the channel anyway. So why don't you just keep it kosher and have some fun?
Look, it's drifting.
Yeah, we're here to drift.
People have got opinions.
You'll find even the hardest competitors in pit lane get on well together and have a drink at the pub later.
And
they're not worried about your opinion.
That's the thing about it, is the fans take it so seriously, but really, as long as the judges are happy, as long as the competitors are happy, and as long as they're coming back, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's no more relevant than anything you or I say, Kenny, in terms of the fact that we get to kind of just say what we say. We're commentators by nature. We comment on things. So we just, have to keep the show going and flowing.
All right, so the service for the cars. Now, I think we're going to see the third and fourth. We've got some time up our sleeve.
We do. We're at 4:25 so far.
So we will see the third and fourth matchup between Dave Steedman and Connor Halligan, which I think that's going to be another good matchup too, especially after the aggression that Connor brought to the table there with Luke Fink. My favourite battle actually so far.
Oh no, there's Sam West. Who knows? Who knows how this interview will go?
Not your day today, but you've had some good success at Mount Smart. Tell us about what you like about that track.
I just like the danger of it, really. You know, when the adrenaline's going, it's when I drive my best. So, risk it all for the biscuit.
But we're not going to bend it, right?
Not this new car. It's too pretty to bend, and the wife will probably divorce me. So I'll try to keep it in one piece, but I can't say the same for Bay Park.
And what did you think of Connor's battle just now?
I honestly thought Connor got that. His chase was probably one of the best chases I've seen, and his lead looked pretty smooth to me. So, I was a little bit confused, but I'm no judge, so.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be a judge, eh?
I'd hate to be a judge.
But it's great to see they've really got this thing dialed now and they're sending it again.
Oh, it's so good. Connor's a very good driver, and on his day, he'll beat anyone, so.
Look, mate. Hey, appreciate your time, and we'll see you at Mount Smart.
Awesome. Love you, Nick.
We love you too, Nick. You're doing a great job down there in the pits. Kenny and I are in the air-conditioned comfort of the box, and Nick is down there in the 25-degree pit lane, and it's probably about 30 with the heat baking off that surface down there and all those hot race cars around them. As we take a look at the GT Radial replay again of this, shall we call it contentious, Kenny, or shall we just call it, it's a straight-up tight battle?
It's a tight battle, and that's why it is contentious, I suppose. But at the end of the day, GT Radial replay, there is an inquiry through, of course, and we'll get some more looks at it for the judges.
I don't know what you'd overturn it on, though. I mean, in the logic that's been given.
Splitting hairs, it would go OT, right?
Yeah, you could make an inquiry, but what is it? We don't like the context.
Honestly, speaking from my experience in the sport, commentating many years ago, the Rubbings racing rule, we would allow hits like that. But we've got a new chase judge this season, and he's obviously set a precedent.
And now that he's set it, he's got to stick with it, right? So as long as this is how it unfolds for the rest of rounds 3, 4, and 5, then it's absolutely fine. No one's got anything to complain about.
I mean, we've seen harder hits than that.
Yes.
That don't get penalised.
Correct.
And that's just from past years, but judging evolves and it changes. But it definitely upset the car there, look. And when you're talking about, these guys are probably doing about 140, 160, somewhere between there, 160 kilometres an hour sideways. I mean, a little bump like that can upset the line and can upset the lead car. So,
yeah, what we can't. I mean, if it's dislodged that front guard there, if it has contacted in any way, shape,
it's
or
a
form,
hard enough hit to move the guard. So,
yeah, if it's contacted the steering, then therefore it has altered the line being completed by the car, right? So, anyway, moving on, moving forward as we look forward to our finals, 3rd and 4th place.
I'm looking forward to the next round, of course, at Mount Smart Stadium.
Yes.
Go Media Stadium in Auckland.
I'm looking forward to having Stephen McIver back too, so I don't have to play lead host. I can just hang out in here with you. We don't even.
You're going to bring the barbecue.
Oh, I'm going to bring some. I think we have to do this now.
First night round of the year.
Yep, night
Gotta
round.
have some barbecue.
What are we going to do? Are you bringing the fry bread and I'll bring the brisket? Is that
some
what
fry bread and a bucket of chicken as well.
But a little short ribs, some of Mossy's smoked cheese.
Yeah,
that goes pretty hard.
That took me by surprise.
The smoked
old
cheese,
Mossy
cold.
likes to do the old smoked cheese.
Cold smoked cheese. Maybe we can bring Geordie Cole back.
I do love a good cheese.
We could have Geordie Cole versus Sam West, and loser has to keep their clothes on, something like that. I don't know.
So looking more angles here during the inquiry. So the judges are upstairs at the
Oh,
moment.
so there is now a formal inquiry?
Oh
is
yeah,
there?
yeah. This is what's
okay,
happening
right,
at the
okay.
moment.
My
Yeah,
apologies,
so-
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. So they'll just be clarifying things, and we'll see if it progresses any further. We are obviously then chewing into time constraint,
Right.
which will mean there'll have to be some very quick decision making from the upstairs crew.
Right, so a good chance to talk about the upcoming events as the judges deliberate there, Kenny. So we've got Mount Smart is 7th of March, I think, and tickets are on sale now. And then we go to Manfield on, I want to say, the 11th and 12th of April. I think it's a Friday, Saturday, that one, isn't it?
Manfield?
Yeah, Manfield and Mount Smart, both Fridays, Saturdays?
Yes, Mount Smart, it will be Friday, Saturday. Go
Yes.
Media Stadium. And then we were waiting some big announcements for the tickets to go on sale for Bay Park.
Yeah, and it grates on me that I'm not allowed to say what I was told.
Around
So.
February the 15th,
Yeah.
we're going to have some big announcements for
Yes.
Bay Park, the grand final, which is always such a massive event. And there's just going to be some really interesting stuff coming out, I am told. I do know of one driver in particular who will be an absolute fan favourite.
Oh, right, we've got Adam Davies down there with Nick.
Adam, you're having a real good day here, mate, but we've also got another event coming up very, very soon, Mount Smart. Tell us what you feel about that track.
Mount Smart's good, but it's a difficult one because the initiation to it you actually square on. So unlike Bay Park, you actually roll into a curve, you know. So it's sort of also off camber, but once you get over the first and second clip, then from there you can just hammer down. It's an awesome track.
And being a night round, it does add a lot of entertainment for the crowd and the fans.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's they get the fireworks and all the lights and that sort of stuff, and guys light their cars up. So it's a spectacle, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, mate.
Yeah.
And look, is there anyone you guys want to thank for the season?
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome to have our returning partners like Mimico and Napa and NMT, and obviously this season we've got Hydrolink on board. So it's awesome to have support from all these guys, and obviously like the Link ECU and Motorsport Plumbing Supplies. Couldn't do it without these guys. So.
And of course, the team's prize, the bar tab for the weekend.
Yeah. Look, the team are the ones that keep the car going. We have had a pretty average start to the day, and they've just kept chipping away at the jobs we need to do, and the car's now on point. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it's great to see, mate. Well, hopefully they'll get to the bottom of this quite soon, and we will be able to go racing again.
All right, so the reason we can't progress forward, obviously, is because this does does alter potentially third and fourth versus first and second. So judges' inquiry underway, and yes, again, confirming there is a financial cost for going through this process, Kenny?
Well, the thing is, the inquiry stage is fine, right? You get feedback, but if there are any changes to that, or it progresses further to a protest, then we're in the red zone, so to speak, because we're running out of time certain finish with the track and the broadcast. Well, at the same time, we can keep broadcasting, but the problem is the track time.
Right, so in that instance, we would refer back to qualifying order, is that correct? Or what stands? Is it?
We'll chat to the judges very shortly.
Yeah, maybe we won't throw that out there in case we say something that maybe is taken as
under
possible.
the time certain finish rules, it then gets separated by the remaining order from qualifying results.
Right.
Unless there's a battle that's halfway through, or there was an OMT outstanding that would be maybe a tie, which is actually what I thought what might have happened yesterday as well if they went OMT in the final. But no, we didn't see that. So, but yeah, under the time certain rules, that's how it would work. They'd have to recall the finishing order. So basically, when you think about it, when you're at this stage of the day and you're a competitor putting in an inquiry, you do have to start thinking, well, is it actually worth separating it by championship points by dragging the day out and having a lackluster finish to the event? Let's just get out there, run the third and fourth, run the first and second, and there's still opportunity to nitpick extra championship points in a protestable stage if you want to post-event, but let's get the event finished.
Right, so I think our judges have finished giving their feedback. I can see them on our
So
screen.
we'll
screen
jump up
there.
into the judges box and hopefully one of them can pick up a microphone and just give us some clarification on the inquiry there between Luke Fink and Connor Halligan.
Okay, so you guys can hear me, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So essentially, Connor's inquiry was that Luke was on the handbrake, that caused the contact. Well, that's not actually the case. Connor had quite a severe straighten that I let go because he was in proximity, so he didn't get a 0, yeah, because he was in that proximity. Many other drivers all day have had a 4-wheel straighten, had a 0, right? So I gave him leniency, but knowing what I know about this and this proximity of chasing, in that moment of him having that straighten, the car has actually travelled a lot further, probably about a foot more than it would have, yeah, which has then put Connor offline when he snapped for that reinitiation, putting him in the wrong spot and causing that contact, because when the contact occurred, Luke had already let go of the handbrake and was back on throttle. Now, if Connor hadn't had that straighten and had snapped through in that transition, the throttle would have been applied straight away, which would have then kept similar wheel speed to Luke. That handbrake drag would have closed the proximity bit, then when Luke got back on the throttle, they would have piled out together and Connor would have been right on in that pocket, yeah? So that alone is why I've overturned it, because that wasn't the only problem.
Fair enough.
So I've upheld my decision, sorry.
Yeah, fair enough, okay.
And like, he was beyond the A-pillar, he had a sloppy, I didn't want you jerking. He was jerking around the main corner. Like, it was a sloppy chase.
Yeah.
Sorry, Connor, but it was.
The transition obviously was super tight as well heading into this. So, I mean, it was a gamble. It was a gamble.
Sick.
It was a gamble. It looked sick, but he didn't quite pull it off.
And this is why I didn't 0 him straight away, because he was in the pocket, and that's what I said. I would give you leniency in the pocket, I did.
All right, well, we're done.
Good
Thank you,
to hear.
boys. You
Good to
need
hear from the judges.
Get focused back
Binky
on the
Bruin,
track.
of course. Binky Bruin, our chase judge for the weekend, and what a character too. He's had a lot of great feedback from the guys in pit lane for being concise about what he wants, and there you have it.
Oh, look, and you don't have to like it. Doesn't matter if you don't like it, really. Like, come and drive, don't come and drive.
Fuel's still expensive.
Yeah, fuel and tyres.
Got to pay the rent.
Driving a race car is still expensive. I can see kind of all this stuff.
We're here having fun.
I can see this stuff going on about where are all the ex-drivers? Well, things happen. People get married. They buy houses. They build businesses. They have kids. They have more kids. They buy another business. They buy another house. They take up fishing. Anyway, there we go. It is Connor Halligan versus Dave Steadman for third place for the weekend. And we are closing in on a finish here at the Taupo Motorsport Park. Connor Halligan goes to that inside line again. Connor Halligan, I think, he's got the bit between the teeth now, hasn't he? He's a little bit annoyed, I think, with the way that result went. We're almost seeing the same thing again from him. A little bit further back on Dave Steadman. Wasn't right up on the door like he was with Luke Fink, but same sort of approach from Connor, full of youthful aggression.
And there's a bit of aggression there from Dave Steedman as well. What a battle, a pair of S14s going head to head in the battle for third and fourth. GT Radial Replay, what a great entry. Super aggressive from the chase car. Again, Connor Halligan stacking on the angle, and was that a touch there as well on Dave Steedman?
That's what I thought was going to happen too.
Super tight through the transitions. A little bit of a wheel lock up in the front there. Both in an S chassis, but of course Dave Steedman in the lead, running that 3.2 litre stroked RB. Straight 6 turbo battle here, but the Toyota motor underneath.
No, we're not doing RB. We're not doing RB versus 2
I'll keep carrying the flag.
You can argue with yourself, Kenny.
I do think it's funny that for the amount of S chassis that there are in the series, and just how many 2Js are in the bonnet.
Well, there's 8, right? It is the most popular motor. Oh, actually, is it? Or is LS?
Well, it is it's the popular choice at the moment if you're going 6-cylinder, and it's certainly paired with the S chassis combo.
Well, we saw a lot of the RBs have quite major failures, didn't we? It was getting kind of expensive for a while. And look, Dave, I think had a couple of issues for years that he was sort of recycling oil repeatedly. There is Launchmaster Willie with the duct tape.
Getting that bumper secured on the back of the Dave Steedman machine. We have to get Willie some wider tape. There might be just too much rubber under there.
One of those big like slab sheets they just bang on the front of like a supercar. Those are fun.
Maybe we could get Jerry to...
I feel like we need to get Willie
make
a
us
chair.
up some big Band-Aids. Some D1NZ Band-Aids.
Willie needs a chair first. Willie's been on his feet all day. At least we're sitting down. All right, Connor Halligan, let's see whether he can grab a step on the podium, or will it be Dave Steedman? Steedman, I think he's made a mistake there. That looked like Dave went to kind of initiate and it didn't go.
Thundering off the limiter. The cars sound fantastic, powering through that midsection. Connor Halligan out in the lead, out to the second to last outer zone. One more outer zone to go for the third place battle here at Taupo Motorsport Park as Dave Steedman.
It is definitely red mist for Halligan.
Tries to close it in.
I feel like I'm going to get some interesting comments out of Connor Halligan should he make the podium.
Big handbrake attack from Dave Steedman.
What was that,
I'd love
though?
to see the front one angle from that. Dave using the curbing to try and get out there, so he'll be at a bit of a disadvantage by doing that. But third and fourth, full send.
All the limiters.
All the limiters.
All the limiters.
Yeah, there was a bit of a
a
front end sort of lock up, and the rear end didn't quite go deep enough initially. Connor Halligan just smashing the gas into these outer zones.
I like it. Oh, there is Willie.
There it is.
Lana wave. Launchmaster Willie, the one and only. Are those the most famous calves in D1NZ at the moment? Probably. Launchmaster Willie will be wearing shorts no matter what the weather conditions are.
Hail, rain or shine.
Yeah, and no jacket, just waterproof. So, one to go, Kenny. One final battle. We'll call it through, and then I'll go and do the podium. And we'll get out of here because we are going to be pretty time certain, I think, and have to rush through this thing. I don't imagine we're going to see one more time out of that, and I don't think we'd have the time to be able to do that anyway with tyre changes required. So, see what happens here as the judges lock in.
I'd say there would be a definitive decision out of that.
Nick's asking them to get out of the cars, so that means we will have a result there, I would say. And there is Mr. Fink lining up for his second shot at glory for the weekend. Luke Fink, of course, was second yesterday, has locked in a decent amount of points already, and he potentially heads out of here as the overall series leader after 2 rounds. Thank you to Ting Tools. And all of those points counting towards the D1NZ National Drifting Championship major prize of the Drift Japan Tour.
So here it is, the final battle of the day. TTI Scrub Box. The Mimico. I see what they've done there with the split livery on the team
That's
cars.
cool, eh?
Because when they had the team battle earlier, they had both of the major sponsors lined up as they were door to door. So I thought that was neat that they'd done that.
Either that or Dave is old and got confused. Dave put his stickers on backwards because he's just
Well,
old.
it worked out. It worked in his favour.
And if it's probably if it's wrong, it's Simon Lee or Michael Bond's fault. One of those two. Alrighty, here we go. Adam Davies for Mimico Hydrolink running the Trios tyre against Luke Fink for JDM Racing on the GT Radial. Who goes home with silverware? Here we go off the line for the final time here. It is Adam Davies, the #1 qualifier, leading the way with JDM. Oh, Adam Davies! It has shut down and gone straight ahead. And then Luke's washed out as well. And we're 0-0. Luke's locked up. Luke is locked up and he's come to a halt. It is shut down. And Adam Davies has pulled up there. Does he think it's on fire? Luke, the way Luke's getting out of that car, what is on the track? Is there something on the track? It must be on fire. The way Luke's jumped out.
Well, he talked about the tail shaft vibration. So
the shaft's broken.
The shaft's
there
broken.
It is. Is it?
It's lucky as it didn't fly apart and jump the car, bounce the car up off the.
So it's going to be a 0-0, but Luke's already told us he can't fix it. Surely
So
that's it's a
that,
zero.
That may just be the.
Is that going to be it? I don't.
The quickest final we've seen in D1 in a long time.
Congratulations, Luke Fink. You have now delivered us by mechanical 2 of the worst finals potentially.
Well, if it's a 0-0 and he retires, then I think Adam actually has to complete a bye run.
Potentially, yes. Or if we go time certain,
And
then
if it's
Adam might
time
get it anyway.
And it's 0-0, they might it might end up being a
Qualifying.
tie.
Well,
Because
doesn't
they've started the battle. You can't
go
split
qualifying.
you can't
Yeah,
go
okay.
off qualifying points if you started the battle.
So as long as Adam can drive off the line, then.
Well, he did say it was going to be an issue. He had that vibration in the rear end of the JDM S15. Luke Fink had the tail shaft vibration, and perhaps that was all she wrote, that she's had enough. He's pulled out of it. Adam Davies quick to get over there and check on his battle mate. You see Luke there picking up parts off the track. A spicy end to the big, massive double header here at Taupo Motorsport Park in, well, Warren?
Well, I've just had a message. If I say a shout out to Brett and Eric at Camo Parts, Scott Dinsdale will come back to Bay Park. So Scotty D, welcome back. You're coming back to Bay Park, and a shout out to Brett and Eric at Camo Parts. And thank you for funding Scotty D to Bay Park. Let's hope we can drag him off the golf course and make sure he doesn't run a marathon on the way there or anything else weird that he's been up to keep himself occupied while he gets that BMW running again. So the fact that we're seeing the low trailer is not a good sign. And
I think to do the grand final you might have to do an extra round actually.
Ah, do you?
Yeah, you have to do one round.
I thought they'd
to do
thrown that out because I thought Liam Burke was able to come back.
We had other issues around that.
Oh wait, well you can
confirm
that.
that.
Yeah, you can confirm that because I'm sure that I thought Liam had been back for a final round.
We did a wildcard system for a couple of years, but then I think there was sort of touch and go there because championships on the line, of course.
Right, and probably with the look, I can understand why that would happen too with the big prize this year. So you wouldn't want somebody coming in and taking out a top ranking driver in the 32 and completely changing the outcome of the whole season.
So we've got a recovery happening here. And will we see a result?
What did he say? He said it was the tail shaft, right? And they don't have any ability to fix it. I'm sure that's what he said earlier. So I'd imagine. Oh yeah, it looks like Lance is down there. I'm pretty sure I'm being summoned now, Kenny, am I? So I'll disappear off commentary. I have absolutely enjoyed being back in the box with you, Kenny. I'll probably close out the show, but mate, it's fantastic to be back with you on the microphone. We hope you've enjoyed the call out there in live stream land. And hey, if you want to see or hear or think about different things that you think would add to your viewing or listening experience, then let us know via Oversteer TV's YouTube channels.
Big thank you to Warren Sear joining me in the commentary box as he makes his way back down to pit lane. And, well, I need to get some answers out of race control, I think, because I wonder if Luke Fink's actually bailed out. Well, he's going to have to bail out of the run. They're not going to fix the car. But does Adam actually have to go and do a bit of a clean run to secure the victory? Or was it because the JDM machine is retiring, he just takes that victory?
So Adam, just trying to gather up what happened there, mate.
Initiated in, and most of the day today the front's been getting really heavy on the steering, and it bound up on me and I couldn't get it off lock, and it just been spit me off track. And most of the battles have been fine until the final. I just wanted to do a clean lead run, and yeah, unfortunately Luke's Bellhausen exploded.
Did you guys contact?
No contact that I felt anyway.
Right, so then Luke's obviously had a mechanical straight after it.
Yeah, he come around the corner and he's obviously put the power down, and the shake in his drivetrain has exploded the bell housing.
Yeah, he did tell us before that the tail shaft was vibrating to hell. So from what I understand, they have got a result. So we're just waiting for our good mate Warren to turn up. But look, hey, great weekend for you guys.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to win on a technicality, but that's Sam West's job. But no. I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, like I said, if I had finished my lead run, I'd been happy. But and it's unfortunate for Luke. He's out with the mechanical, but it's racing, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, we still actually don't know the result of this one either. Any guesses?
No, I don't know. I only saw half of the battle, so not too sure. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Let's go and ask the boys, see what they, how they thought it was. Dave, talk us through what happened on your battle, because we still don't know the result, but I'd love to hear your perspective.
Well, like I said earlier, I only know what I've done in my lead and in my chase, obviously. I'm not sure how Connor did behind me. He seems to think he did pretty good, and I know that I made a major mistake and then was pretty average. I got a bit of proximity, but going off that, I'm pretty sure that I haven't got it. So we'll just have to wait and see.
And Connor, what's your perspective on it, mate?
I think it was pretty good. Maybe a few things to tidy up. I didn't even realise that I knocked Dave's bumper off. I was so smoked out half that lap, but just kept it pinned.
Willie had some duct tape out there for him.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all part of it, eh? Knocked a bit of fiberglass off. But no, it's all good. It's all right. Pretty happy with my driving, especially after the weekend we've had. It's been an absolute nightmare with the new car. So, yeah, happy to put on a show.
And you obviously be looking forward to the next round, going in there with some points.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's a short season. I was really going for it this year. After yesterday, I sort of thought, oh well, it's not going to be.
All right, mate. Warren's arrived, so let's get these results. I will just hand straight over to him, I think.
Well, that was a rough entry. So D1NZ round number 2 for 2025 locked in. It sounds like we are going to have a result here. It's coming through live in my ear as we hear. Third and fourth has been declared as a draw. Third and fourth has been declared as a draw due to a one more time that we do not have time to run. So third and fourth is a draw. So we will invite Connor and Dave to come and stand on the podium together. You guys will have to share. You'll have to, bit of a man love moment. Sorry guys, that's the way it is. Squeeze together, squeeze together. This is very awkward. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in drifting.
Tandem of the day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, going home as the winner from round number 2 of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship, winning the big prize from Ting Tools. Congratulations to Adam Davies! Which means, Luke Fink, you are in second place again. And it is a mechanical, so unable to complete the battle. So there it is. So we have a tie for third. Does anyone have a grinder? I'd love to cut the trophy in half on the podium. Anyone got a grinder? Plasma cutter. You get 2 screwdrivers each, and I'm taking the rest. All right, give the trophies out, boys. So there we go. So we are going to. We've got 5 minutes left. So there we go. First and second place. So. All right. Who's getting what? One of you gets the trophy. One of you gets the tools. You guys separate. All right. Roll. All right, here we go. We'll come over here first. Oh, we've got tools flying everywhere. First of all, Connor Halligan, Dave Steadman, congratulations on the most awkward thing I've ever seen on a podium. I'm going to speak to you first, Dave, simply because you're shorter and I can reach you.
First of all, congrats, Adam. It's been an epic weekend. So stoked to have the Mimico, NMT shipping and Hydrolink cars up on the podium. 2 podiums in 2 rounds, 2 days. Man, the crew have worked so hard to get us here. I'm so stoked.
All right, thanks so much, Dave. And Connor Halligan, I don't know what you had for lunch, but man, you came to life this afternoon. That must have been feeling good getting that car sorted.
Yeah, honestly, it's been such a battle. I was almost ready to put it on the trailer about midday today. We said problem after problem after problem, but I guess that's the way it goes sometimes. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I want to say a huge thank you to my sponsors, my family and my friends that all chipped in and helped me get the car together. Without them, I wouldn't be here, that's for sure. So, and a massive congrats to everyone else on the podium. Yeah.
All right, thank you, boys. Since you're so close, maybe a little hug. Does that feel good? Yeah, there we go. No kissing, no kissing. That's weird. This is a family show. Luke Fink, second place. I think you're now unofficially leading, but don't hold me to that. But not too bad, but still somehow 2 of the worst finals we've ever seen.
I'm sorry. I really, really tried. In hindsight, you know, if I knew it was going to happen, which we hoped it wouldn't, so do apologise to the JDM boys. We've got some work to do. I don't know if that's a piece of motor or a piece of gearbox. I really, really hope it's a piece of gearbox. I did have the chance to at least warn Adam before we went out that might happen. But yeah, obviously a huge shout out to my team. Absolute bunch of legends, all the boys there, everyone put in every little bit. It's no small feat running 5 cars or 5 people or whatever we ended up with. I don't know. We grow and there's many people, everyone behind the scenes, everybody that came out to watch today, everybody I got to compete with. Obviously would have loved to put on a better run against Connor. I don't feel... Yes, it is Connor. Sorry. Terrible with names. You know, I pushed as hard as I could with the car I had, and yeah, love it. Had a wicked weekend. Head back to Australia now and actually have my only little bit of rest for the whole year. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with my kids and playing with my SSU.
And it has just been confirmed that Luke Fink is now leading the series with 176 points and in second place for the series, but first place today, and also the top performing team for some cash. Adam Davies, Dave Steadman, Team DSR. Congratulations, Adam, and I'll give that to Rex.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, thanks everyone, you know, my team for all the help this weekend. It's been a bit of a trying day. There's been a bit of a mix-up with the whole qualifying thing, so it's been a little bit confusing for everyone. But hey, it's been an awesome weekend, and to have 2 podiums for our team for the 2 rounds is awesome. Massive thanks to our friends and family, of course our crew. They keep the cars going, and thanks Luke. And obviously our sponsors: Mimico, Hydrolink, NMT, Napa, you know, Link, Motorsport Plumbing Supplies. They keep the cars going for us, and we couldn't do it without them. And of course the guys that build my engine, the Green Brothers. It's not often you get Rotaries on the podium, and here I am. So yeah, obviously thanks to all other drivers. It's been a sick weekend, some epic driving, and obviously the judges for the new judging format's been awesome. So thanks everyone.
All right, boys, that means there's only one thing left to do. It's time for champagne showers here at round number 2 for the D1NZ National Drifting Championship. I don't even know how you got... One of you, I tell you what, you shake it and you put your thumb on it. Let's share this experience. Let's make it weird. Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been round number 1, round number 2 of the National Drifting Championship for 2025. Nick Hoyle, fantastic day here in the lane. Kenny Ruddle on broadcast with me. Absolute pleasure to be your lead host while Steve McIver is away. We'll be back with round number 3 from Mount Smart. Nick Hoyle.
Hi, mate. Look, I am so excited to come to Mount Smart and be there again. It will be great to have MacGyver back doing his job, but I tell you what, I have enjoyed wearing his shoes for the weekend. But thank you very much to everybody who's tuned in. My voice is done, absolutely done.
Well, at least you can still see, because I forgot my glasses. I'm now blind. I'm suing Luke Fink after this. Send him a bill.
What an absolute blast, and thank you very much, team.
All right.